This is Bettor Sports Live with Lisa, Ann, and Rick Kamla on Bettor Sports Network.
That's right. Here we are. It is Wednesday night. For the next 3 hours, you get myself, my co-host Rick Kamla, right here talking with you. We've got some guests. We've got Anthony in the studio. Rick, the NBA is wild right now. The Denver Nuggets are doing way better than you thought they would, even though I was pretty hype. How you feeling today? I can't wait to go through your props, but how are you feeling about these playoffs?
Well, these playoffs are riveting. But first, happy 29th birthday, Lisa Ann. How's it feel to be 29? I mean, you're getting up there a little bit, huh? Happy birthday to you, LA. I hope you had a blast.
Yeah, you know that I turned the big 5-1. 5-1, not as exciting as 50. 50 is like this milestone. 51 is like another birthday. But I did wake up yesterday morning with the strangest thought. I woke up and the first thing I said to myself is, you're a year older today. Like, you're just today. Out of nowhere, you're just a year older. It flew by. And even my friends that I was out with last night who came to say less last year for my birthday were like, where did this year go? And you remember being a kid and your parents would always tell you like how fast time goes when you get older. It's real.
I thought it was some kind of speeding up of the earth thing or some kind of like portal we went through during the pandemic. But like there are just a couple of days, LA, where it's like, time goes a little bit slower than you think, right? And I'm prepping for my show, and I feel like I'm at 11:15 or 11:45, and it's 11:15. Wow, I got a little chance to breathe. But most days, it's like it feels like it's 11:45 and it's 12:30. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's just flying. What's not flying is my New York Knicks. The Golden State Warriors, all these things that we're going to talk about. But I know the most important thing is welcoming everybody in the room. Jeff, I'm so glad you get to be here for the whole show. We've got our friend Brad in here from Australia. We've got Petra in here from Germany. I mean, we are globe trotting right now without having to get on a plane.
Or a passport, which I don't have one right now. I need to update it. I know there hasn't been a whole lot of travel since the pandemic and this beautiful little baby Lilikoi. But yeah, my random Rick Kamla fact, my passport has run out. So if we decide to hop on a plane to the Caribbean, I'm going to have to go down to the DMV and get her done.
You got to get her done just so you know you have it.
I know.
Before you need it, because there's nothing worse than paying the expedited fees with the passport because you do, and they love when we have to pay the expedited fees. That's just how the world works. But let's get to it. We've got some games tonight, Rick. I know you're probably not feeling so good about the Knicks. New York is not feeling so good about the Knicks, but we're going to go for it because these games are going to tip off at 7:30. This is going to give everybody in the room a good amount of time. Also, have a reminder here on FanDuel. If you bet $5, you get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed using fantasyalarm.com/FanDuel. Anybody out there that's not on FanDuel yet, I would go and get that going right now. But let's talk about the first one you've got. Jalen Brunson. By the way, I liked your polls. We're going to touch on those polls after we go through your props. I love the polls you put out today.
Nice.
Jalen Brunson versus Miami. You've got the over 25.5 points at -130.
Jalen Brunson, LA, has been my cash cow throughout these playoffs so far. I have hit more on Brunson than any other player. These playoffs have been wildly inconsistent and unpredictable, both with ATS betting and prop betting. The most unpredictable playoffs we've ever seen. That's statistically proven. This guy, I feel like we can really rely on. His point flow in this series speaks to 50-50 on this number, 25, 30, 20, and 32. Game 3 was a sinkhole of disgust for the entire New York Knicks team. That was that Saturday afternoon game. They were awful. I think they might have been out kicking it the night before with F1 in town down in Miami. I don't know, but it looked like a sapped legs game. The other 3 games, Brunson's been fantastic. And LA, this just comes down to trust. In Brunson, we trust. He is a baller, a gamer, a winner, a champion. And I just think he's going to rise tonight. And win or lose, he's going to have a big game.
Well, you are not alone in these thoughts, Rick Kamla. We've got Scott in the room. Jalen is the man. Jeff in the room. He loves Brunson tonight. You got another Brunson one here right now.
Yes.
Brunson versus Miami, over 36.5 for the combo. The points, rebounds, and assists. The number is -105.
He's been over this number in 3 of the 4 in this series. The under was game 3, that awful game. And so look, again, it's in Brunson we trust. But LA, this comes down to the rebounds and the assists, okay? Because, and the other reason why I want to play this one in addition to the points, I don't think 25.5, I think he's going to be around 30, okay? So I want to try to capitalize on that surplus that I survey in the point prop. And then if he gives us the 5 boards, which he's averaging in this series, he's been at least 7 assists in 3 of the 4 games in this series. I feel like just pretty much by that point prop, he's going to bang this one for us as well. So, yeah, we got a combo platter here of Brunson tonight.
I like it a lot. This gives me a lot of hope of what you think could happen with the New York Knicks. We know we're in this series right now, which is 3-1. This could be a do or die kind of situation, right? The Knicks got to get it together. But on the other side of the ball, Jimmy Butler at New York, 27.5 points. The number is -130.
He's due for a big one, LA, and that's bad news for New York and Knicks fans and everybody, because he may just go into the Garden and go, Hulk smash, like he did on Giannis in the first round. I feel a 30 bubbling up from Butler tonight. I do. I don't think this is going to be a runaway and hide game for the Knicks. If they win, it's going to be a thriller and a spine tingler. And Butler's going to be right in the middle of all of it. He has not hit 30 plus in this series yet. So he's super due. And he's 4th in the playoffs in scoring at 33.5. So come on, he's due for a big one tonight.
He is due for a big one. And they haven't needed him to put that big one out there. But if he wants to get this done so they get a little bit of downtime before their next series begins, this is the night to get those big points up there. You've got RJ Barrett versus Miami. Over 20.5 points. The number is -110.
Let me ask you a question. Do you like what you're seeing from RJ Barrett right now, LA?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised at the scrappiness. What we're seeing is not great Knicks play, not really consistent, but you've got, like you mentioned, Brunson earlier and Barrett.
So I love that you went down that road, because with Randall, who tends to be an inconsistent guy, and he's got the bad wheel. And there are games where Thibodeau's like, yo, Obi Toppin's a better option for me right now to win today. So there are some downside factors with Randall. Brunson, I have all the trust in. Barrett, and in the second half of game 4, down in Miami trying to win that game, Barrett was hitting a bunch of big shots, keeping him in it in the third. Went back-to-back buckets in the fourth to bring them close and kind of keep him in it. I just like the way he's playing right now, LA. He's been over this number of 20.5 in 5 of the last 6 playoff games. The only under was, again, the sinkhole of disgust, that game 3 at Miami, that I don't know. It was just completely mysterious, the lack of effort and legs from the Knicks that night. But anyway, I like Barrett over 20.5 tonight.
Oh, we just got word from Brad that said the all NBA teams have been announced just now as well. And Randall is all NBA 3rd team.
He's all NBA 3rd team. I'm going to have to go to another doc here and pull that up. I can tell you this though, right now, he was on my all NBA team, LA. He might have been 2nd team, but at least 3rd team. Obviously a marvelous season with the Knicks. So that makes sense. But like I said, he's got a leg problem. Tibbs has benched him in these playoffs. So I'm a Julius Randle guy, but not tonight.
Last one we got here, Klay Thompson versus the Lakers over 22.5 points. The number is -115.
Klay Thompson ain't going out like this, LA. He had 9 points in game 4. Awful. Embarrassing. Humiliating. For an all-time great, the 2nd best shooter in the history of the league to go out like that. He ain't going out like that. LA, I've found over the years that all-time greats like Klay Thompson always bounce back. There's always a competitive response from a guy as talented and as competitively wired as Klay. Let me give you some math here. In the 2 games in LA, where I thought he'd play well, but he didn't, he averaged 12 points and shot 32%. Let's go back to games 1 and 2 at home. 27 points per game on 47%. Home cooking tonight, LA. And game 6, Klay, comes a game early for the Warriors. And the Warriors are going to win tonight, LA. I like the Dubs -8. I think we are going to get a late night beatdown. I don't think the Lakers are going to be all in and totally invested in this game like the Warriors will be.
The Warriors have to be being in the same spot, as the Knicks. And let's talk about the Warriors Lakers first, because it is fascinating to me how well the Lakers are playing in the playoffs. Like, this is like, oh, you saved your best basketball for last when it matters. And the movement of the odds of the Lakers winning the trophy is like here. And Rick, before Valentine's Day, we didn't even think this was a remote possibility.
That is correct. LA, if they win this one, if these Lakers win this one, first of all, LeBron James will become my GOAT. Okay. Like, that's what's there for him right now. I will call him the greatest player who ever played if he wins this championship. And it's not about winning this championship in the way that they're winning it. It's about getting number 5 and being one below Kareem and one below Jordan. And then you match up the other stats and accomplishments. And for me, then it shifts towards LeBron James. Still obviously a very good debate, but I've said this for years, LA. If LeBron gets that 5th ring and passes Kareem for the all-time scoring title, which he did this year, then I will say he passed Michael Jordan and Kareem. There are some people that say, "Oh man, nobody will ever pass Michael Jordan." You don't know. I'm not that way. Like, I think that Pat Mahomes has a legitimate chance to pass Tom Brady as the GOAT of NFL quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's not unrealistic. What we're seeing right now, it really leans towards that. On the other side of the ball, what has been the Warriors' problem so far this series? Now, look, they've been in this situation before. They've been down 2-3 games and still pulled it together. They know how to do this, but something is definitely off. What is it that you see that's creating this? Because now you got to enter the court tonight as the Warriors in a very stressful situation. This is real. I mean, you've let yourself, the Knicks, kind of expected this to be the case, right? But the Warriors, we don't expect this. What's the missing link for the Warriors right now?
Okay, there's so much to break down right there, so I'll try to keep this short and sweet. They have a Jordan Poole problem, LA. He had no points in 10 minutes on 0 of 4 shooting in game 4. He got $140 million in the offseason, okay? But the problem is not Jordan Poole, LA. Nope. The problem is not Jordan Poole. The problem is Steve Kerr. Your boy is losing his way. He gives up on young guys way too quick. Jonathan Wiseman is a Piston right now, LA, second overall pick like 3 years ago. Jonathan Kuminga out of the rotation. Moody out of the rotation. And now Poole, another young guy, is messing with him because Poole makes defensive mistakes, LA, but he puts the ball in the bucket. And the last 3 games, he's played like 15, 22, and 10 minutes. You can't catch a rhythm. You can't write.
No, you're
if you
so
start
right.
0 for 3, and then you come out of the game and you come back in, you're ice cold. You miss another brick. He takes you back out. Come on. Jordan Poole is a 30-minute per game guy playing, deep rotation minutes right now. It's a joke. So I think they got a Kerr problem. They have a defense problem. They have a turnover problem, LA. They have a late game execution problem via game 4. They got issues, LA, big time.
And look, they just paid him. I mean, you got him the 4-year extension. What is it? 128 milli guaranteed, including 123 milli guaranteed average salary of 32 milli. What are you going to do with this kid? You should be putting him out there. And I like what you said there about the rhythm, because you do cool off when you're sitting on the bench. You don't get into a zone. The best players stay in that zone. So yeah, this has been, but I think the Warriors win tonight. I don't see the Warriors, going out this easily, but I don't know if I see the Warriors winning this series.
I'm totally with you. I did a short, for us, Bettor Sports Network, Fantasy Alarm, what was it, a day or 2 ago. And I said, the Knicks are done. Okay, they're done. But the Warriors aren't. The Warriors can do this. They can pull off this 3-1 comeback. They have Steph. They have championship DNA. They have 2 of the 3 remaining games at home if we go that far. Obviously huge. Oh, by the way, they barely lost game 4, right? They didn't get blown out. That was at LA. So can they go to LA and win a game? Hell yeah, they can go to LA and win a game. Now, the Knicks, on the other hand, LA, and I'll make this quick. It's math. The Heat are 7-1 with Jimmy Butler in these playoffs. They are 3-0 against the Knicks in Jimmy Butler games. The Knicks all-time are 0-14 in playoff series when they trail 3-1, 0-14. The Heat are a perfectly juxtaposed 14-0 all-time when leading a playoff series 3-1. This series is over, LA, but the Warriors and Lakers series is not over.
Do you consider this series for the Heat Knicks over tonight?
No, I sheepishly like the Knicks tonight. It wouldn't be like a full, like LA. I'm telling people right now, play the Warriors -8. Thank me later. I really like the Warriors tonight. I think you're going to get a tired / rest game from the Lakers tonight. I don't see full-hearted effort here. And it's desperation on the other side. That's going to lead to a blowout. This one though, LA at the Garden tonight, I think Jimmy Butler might come in there and just buzzkill 20,000 Knicks fans. Okay. Like, I think the Knicks are going to win, but I think, right? I believe the Warriors are going to win big tonight. I don't have that belief with the Knicks. I don't.
It's hard to believe it, right? We've seen the Warriors do this before. We've never seen the Knicks do this before, right? They're just doing what the Knicks normally do. We've seen the Warriors be in this exact situation and continue to win. You have not shown me that in years, New York Knickerbockers. So, like, I'm not buying that either. I agree. But another game here. Let's talk about the Boston Sixers series. We got that one is at Philly leads the series 3-2. And then the second in that series, the Denver Nuggets, Phoenix Suns. Denver leads the series 3-2. I like where we're going here, but Embiid has been playing some good basketball.
LA, he's got 3 straight 30-plus point games. And he's got a knee brace that looks like a bear trap on his leg.
It's working for him.
Look,
I mean, it's giving him the support that he needs to be able to get that big body back and forth.
There's no question about it. I'm wearing green tonight. Okay. First of all, I love the color. It reads well on TV. And the color green, baby, we're trying to make people money over here on Bettor Sports Network. This has nothing to do with the Celtics, who are, of course, my pick to win the championship. I am so at odds with them right now, LA, and it has to do with a lot of stuff. Joe Mazzulla. Joe Mazzulla is literally peeing this series down his leg on the sideline. To not double team Joel Embiid, like they didn't do it in the whole first half last night. They gave him kind of man and a half defense in the second half last night. Brooklyn double teamed Joel Embiid every single time he caught the ball, without exception. That's the defense they should be playing on. Embiid, force Tucker to beat you, force Harris to beat you. Mazzulla's not doing that. Also, LA, they're playing drop coverage on screen and rolls with Joel Embiid on pick and pops. This guy has a mid-range wetter, but you've got Al Horford or Robert Williams like sagging into the paint, expecting a drive. He doesn't want to drive right now. He's got a bear trap knee brace on his leg. He wants to stand there and just go poof, 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 poof with that feathery little 15-footer he's got, man. Joe Mazzulla is getting destroyed by Doc Rivers right now.
And did you see that coming? Like, did you predict this? Because the Doc Rivers conversation is always like, is this the last season for Doc Rivers? And now you get to this point in it, you're like, this may not be. Mazzulla has less experience than Rivers, no doubt. But look what the Celtics did all season. And you're telling me you didn't watch the tape to prepare yourselves for this matchup? You played so well the entire season, and now here you are.
That's what I'm saying. You've done a good job all year. How can I know this?
Right.
And Joe Mazzulla does not know this. Mike Budenholzer, LA, just got fired for the conversation we're having right now. He did not double team Jimmy Butler. He did not put Giannis Antetokounmpo on Jimmy Butler to put that fire out. And that fire burned the house down, and now he's unemployed. Okay. Joe Mazzulla is not going to get fired, although he might. It's coaching in the NBA. You never know. He's probably not going to get fired. And he's young and he's got to learn stuff. But damn it, this is a team in the championship fast lane. You can't be held back by your coach.
Have the Nuggets been surprising to you at all, the way that they are playing the Phoenix Suns?
No, because of the Chris Paul injury. Yes, if Chris Paul were healthy. With a healthy Chris Paul, I thought Phoenix was going to beat him in 6 or 7, right? But confidently, like there wasn't a doubt in my mind Phoenix was going to win that series. Well, you lose the first 2, you lose Chris Paul in game 2, you win the 3 and 4 at home. Fine. Okay. We give you those. You get trucked last night, predictably, without Chris Paul. Can Chris Paul play? LA, I don't think he's going to be able to come back. But can the Suns win game 6 without him? Hell yeah. I mean, Devin Booker is a supernova right now. This guy's probably going to go for 45 to 50 points tomorrow night. Like, and usually LA, you know this, when you say that, it's like, you said that way too matter-of-factly, right? You were talking about a 45. No, that's kind of where Booker, like when he really hikes it up, that's where he'll be back at home. Anyway, what they need to do is put Aaron Gordon on Devin Booker, LA, because the KCP matchup, Booker is carving him up. You got to find a different matchup for Durant. Good luck. And to me, you got to put Gordon on Booker in game 6 and try your bet. Like, take Booker from 45 down to 37, right? Like, I think putting Gordon on him might do that.
And I know this was probably a huge topic of conversation for you guys on Give and Go. This whole situation with the Joker, the owner of the team, the Suns, the flopping, the chaos, and like the fact
chaos.
that, like, look, we didn't know who he was until you tell us who he is. We didn't know who he is. And if you are an owner of a team, how could you think that that was an okay thing to do? And as an owner of a team, you have to also think, like, how would I like it if a fan did that, right? This is like, and then you wanted to talk about the penalty to the Joker. And I'm like, that whole thing just blew my mind, but it has given them so much more ammo. I mean, look, how often does Bruce Brown get a technical? Last night, I was like, you go. He had a big game. He's proving himself to be one of the greatest trades that Denver made. Taking him from Brooklyn really has revived his career, because we know Brooklyn was going nowhere when he was there, and the opportunity wasn't. He is playing so well in Denver.
I'm not sure why Brooklyn let him go, LA. That didn't make any sense to me. He's a Patrick Beverly, a Marcus Smart, a PJ Tucker. Like, he's a glue guy, a grit guy, a defense guy. He's the kind of, Alex Caruso comes to mind. He's the guy you win a championship with. Okay. He's like, not as your main dude, right? But as a role player.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's my take on Ishbia versus Jokic. Matt Ishbia knew exactly what he was doing. He was a walk-on at Michigan State. So he knows basketball, right? He's not a dummy. And obviously he's a genius. He's a billionaire. He figured some dang way to make all that money.
He owns a team. You know what I mean?
Okay? He owns a team. He owns, but okay, so LA, you're Matt Ishbia. You want to win this basketball game. You've got your player, Josh Okogie, prone, horizontal in basically the laps of people in the first row. And you got Jokic wanting the ball to go up 5-on-4 against your team. He held on to the ball to hold up Jokic and the Nugs. No. You guys are going to be on the power play against my team. And so he held the ball, and it kind of spilled out of both of their hands behind him. What I think Ishbia should have done is like, I don't know, toss the ball on the court, find a referee to throw the ball to. But I was in the twilight zone watching that on TV. I'm like, did I just see Jokic try to rip the ball away from an owner of a team? Are you kidding me? That was a crazy scene.
So much. It was a crazy scene. But Jokic was like, look, we're still in play here. I don't care how long you take to get off these people you just landed on. I'm going to go down there and make a basket. And then all this drama ensues, giving more of a cooling off period.
Did you think he should have been suspended? Did you think Jokic should have been suspended? Because a lot of people did, LA.
I know. A lot of people did. Even I think Greeny did.
Whoa, are you serious?
A lot of the shows I listened to did. I did not.
Your boy Green thought he should be suspended. Wow.
I felt like if that was a fan, they would have thrown the fan potentially out of the arena for holding up the play of the game. Like, I don't think it's any different on who you are, but it was just a bizarre circumstance, something we haven't really seen. And also, let's face it, it was Ishbia's coming out party, because now the whole world knows who you are. Anybody who could not ID this guy, like, look, we can ID Jeannie Buss. We can ID Mark Cuban. We can ID so many of these other team owners, right? Who knew?
Oh, yeah, who knew? So are you telling me, and look, he's down in Phoenix, Scottsdale, like, it's lit, okay? And there's lots of attractive people down there. So are you telling me that when Matt Ishbia walks into the bar right now, that there's more head turning? Hey, there's that guy, as opposed to the owner of the Suns, where you couldn't put the face with the name? Is that what you're telling me right now?
Quite possibly. And I'm going to tell you, the response walking into a bar in Phoenix, Scottsdale area may be different. Do not try and do that in Denver, because I don't really think they like him there right now. So if I were him, I'd stay low key and just order some room service. You know what I mean? Go to the mini bar. I know it's expensive. You can afford it. Like, do all the things the rest of us don't do, right? Get those M&Ms that are $12 for the little thing of them that you always look at and think, who buys them?
Yeah, get the $75 hamburger at 3 a.m.
Hey, how long have they been sitting there? I always wonder. Like, they're not turning those things over. But that was a fascinating situation. Now, look, selfishly, I would like the Warriors to win tonight because I want to see a Friday night game.
Me too.
It's a good, you and I, this is our time. Like,
I want the Knicks to win. I want more games, right?
Right. We're not into shows on those nights. There's nothing on Friday night, although Power does come on now on Fridays, but that's a whole different story. But I have plans to I just want to chill Friday night, watch games. So we need this game to happen.
Mhm.
I do not want to have one less game on Friday, selfishly.
I don't either. And I'd like to have some action on Sunday. I'd like a game 7 or 2. And so if we don't get some wins here, we won't get any game 7. There's no games on Saturday, which is a bit of a buzzkill, but it is what it is. We'll make it through. But yeah, Sunday could set up for a 3-pack of game 7s if it plays out the right way. But we don't usually get what we want, LA. We don't usually.
Man, that would be the best Sunday ever. 3 game 7s? Are you kidding me?
It'd be ridiculous.
And I'm looking at the schedule right now to see how they would be spaced out. I would prefer if none of them were on at the same time as the others.
They would not be. I can tell you that. They would not be.
What a great Sunday this could be. I just want to order a bunch of extra groceries right now. Not going to leave the apartment. You know what I mean? Where would I want to go? Let's hope for that. We've got a guest joining us at 7:30. We've got Corey Parson. He's a BSN host. He is at the Fantasy Exec. The NFL schedule comes out tomorrow. This is a big deal. We've got some little teasers that drop. First ever Black Friday game. I'm so hype about this because I don't know about you, but I don't go shopping on Black Friday. What kind of people do that? You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
We've been conditioned to believe that the day after Thanksgiving is when people go out to these crazy sales and do all of these things. That's not our jam. Give me a football game that day.
1000%. I used to take the day after Thanksgiving off. Now I'm chasing checks. But I take Thanksgiving off. I can tell you that. What do I want to do on Thanksgiving? Sit on my butt and watch football. Okay. So all of you guys that can tap out, yes. So now, is the game on Black Friday a day game or a night game? It's a night game, right?
Ooh, I will look that up while we're on break. That's a great question. Or maybe Anthony, our producer, will look it up for us. But yeah, either way, if it's a night game, it works for you because then you can work and watch the game. But
Bingo.
you have that DVR and you've got this all figured out. Just like the Fantasy Alarm does for everyone. Get all pro access to Fantasy Alarm and unlock all features, including all fantasy football and betting content, plus the award-winning DFS playbook covering 10 different sports. For a limited time, get all of this for 50% off your first 6 months with promo code ALARM50. That's ALARM50 at fantasyalarm.com. So get started with a free trial today. That's promo code ALARM50 at fantasyalarm.com. We will be back. Well, we are back. Corey Parson will be joining the show. We'll hear what he has to say about these NBA playoffs, and maybe he's got some commentary about the release of the NFL schedule as well. You're listening to Lisa, Ann, and Rick Kamla right here on Bettor Sports Live on the Bettor Sports Network.
Anybody who's watching this, getting ready for the rookie draft, so let's do an all-out blitz on this. Should you be drafting for need or should you be drafting for talent? And I'll give you an example. Oftentimes, I have pretty good receivers. My receiver core is usually really good for my dynasty teams. My running back core, usually not so bueno. I don't know if I just focus on receivers and tight ends too much, but my running backs, I usually need players here. If I am sitting at the 103, the 104, the 105, should I be, reaching on a guy like Zach Charbonnet, or should I be looking at drafting guys like Jackson Smith and Jigba, or Dalton Kincaid, or Jordan Addison, stuff like that? How do you handle weighing drafting for need versus talent for rookie drafts, Pat?
Generally, I think it makes sense to go with the talent and, talent over need. And I do think, best ball drafts are a little differently because you can't make moves in season. But in managed leagues, whether it's redraft or dynasty, I think positional balance is the most overrated thing in fantasy. You can make trades, go with the talent, go with the value on the draft board, and worry about positional balance later on.
However you're invested in sports, from betting to fantasy, collectibles, and more, join our community on Bettor Sports Network.
And we are back right here. This is a little short break because we've got Corey Parson joining the show. And I got the word, the hot tip is it is 3 p.m. Eastern time. Anthony says 1:30. So we've got two different answers here. I'm going to go with Jeff. Jeff usually knows what's up, but he also did not put in a Eastern, the time zone thing. Oh, the game is at 3:30. Okay. All right. I got you. So it was 1:30 for that break, but I think it's great. I mean, I think 3 p.m. game. Now you will miss the first hour live, but you will get to go back and watch it later. You're on mute.
Wow, my bad.
problem.
So I will definitely be watching this game off DVR. I'll probably be on NBA radio in the 1 to 4 window. And then, frankly, LA, I don't know if I'm going to. I usually like to either go on a walk, go to the beach, hang out with family. I don't know. And then maybe at night I'll watch that game. But we'll see. We'll see. I think it's a cool new wrinkle. I think it's cool that the traditional AFC, NFC with CBS and Fox has been totally blown open, and it's the Wild West with who gets games. I'm here for it, man. It's cool.
I also think it is great that we're going to have a little bit more flexibility with the schedule. And like you said, the divisions, we had so many bad Thursday night games. Like, remember the first Thursday night game was great. I want to say it was Cowboys, Tampa.
Right.
That was a great game, or Rams. Was it Cowboys, Tampa? Yeah, because they beat us, of course, probably, right? But that getting better standalone games, that's a huge issue that the NFL really need to work on last season. It's different when you got all the games on. A couple of them, okay, you'll watch a little bit later. But when you're sitting there on a Monday night or a Thursday night and you're like, this game is trash, and it's the only thing I'm going to watch right now, it's hard.
This is a good game and a big game. Dolphins and Jets. Hello. There are two teams I have in the playoffs, LA. I have three teams from the AFC East making the playoffs. The Jets are one of them. Miami is one of them. I like both of these teams. This should be a really good game. I hope Tua is still healthy by the time they play this game.
Well, I see Corey has joined the chat, as the kids today like to say. Corey Parson with us at the Fantasy Exec. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Corey. How are you?
Glad to be here. You know what I'm saying? So got a lot of NBA action going on tonight. Heard y'all talking that schedule. Last year opened up Buffalo Rams on Thursday night. We had Cowboys Tampa on Sunday night. Cowboys ended Tom Brady's career later on that year. And if three AFC East teams are going to make the playoffs, how many teams so that means just one AFC North team is going. You don't have Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Baltimore. Who makes it?
Cincinnati.
So and Baltimore is not going to the playoffs.
Correct.
I would love some side action on that. Love it.
Whatever you want.
Love it. Love some side action on that.
I'll tell you what, after all that Lamar went to get a contract done, I'm sure that Baltimore does not want to hear this news. Hopefully they skip over this little part of the show, but you want to talk some NBA. Corey, here we are in New York City. The Knicks are doing Knicks things. This series has been depressing at best. We've got a home game tonight, which hopefully they can win and leave some joy, right? Some joy here at MSG. Do you think the Knicks pull out a win tonight, or do you think the Heat makes it happen so they can get a little bit more rest before the next round?
It's going to be tough. Let me tell you something. This Miami Heat team is very competitive. There's no quit. They keep coming. What I found interesting is watching the play-in tournament, I was like, this is the problem with Miami. Kyle Lowry is washed up, and the Heat don't hit threes no more. Playoff start, and just like that, all of a sudden, they're the league's best three-point shooting team, and Kyle Lowry, like a crafty veteran pitcher who's lost his stuff, he can't overpower you no more, but he know how to paint the corners. Heat culture is their hashtag, and that's for a reason. That's because this team knows how to play. They know how to play in tough environments. They know how to win. Now, after 30 years of futility, this is a positive step for the New York Knicks. It's been since 1999 since this team really had this kind of talent and aspirations. With that being said, good season for the Knicks. I think they go out on a strong note. I think they play well. I think they give the Madison Square Garden crowd one last night to cheer. Friday night, they go to Miami, and it's over now.
Julius Randle just hit a 3-ball, and now he's down in a heap on the baseline, possibly a re-injury of the ankle. that he brought into the playoffs here. We officially have an injury to monitor in this game. Corey, take me into the nuts and bolts of how the Knicks win this game. If they win it, how will that look?
RJ Barrett having another sensational night. Brunson doing what he does. Mitchell Robinson on the offensive glass. And really, you really got to stop. Like, when did Max Strus become Larry Bird? You know what I'm saying? When did Gabe Vincent become Reggie Miller? This is unbelievable. Kyle Lowry hopped into the hot tub time machine. Like, all of a sudden, the Miami Heat have this resurgence where they almost become unbeatable. So I would look at a situation where you got to have RJ Barrett, Brunson, Randall, if he's still available out there, but really second chance opportunities on the offensive glass is going to be important. Making free throws will be key, and the Knicks got to hit some 3-pointers.
That's a fact. How much do you think is affecting the playoff teams, where you look at teams that did more load management throughout the season and you look at teams that just play?
You know, I think you can kind of say that Miami load managed. Lowry, he's here now. You can kind of look at the situation with Anthony Davis, even though he played his heart out. He's healthy, but how long is that going to last? Ultimately, when it boils down to it, I don't think it makes that much of a difference, except in the situation with the Clippers. But I think the Clippers are fool's gold anyway. I think they always have been. They quit essentially when they were in the bubble. But I understand. Well, and I don't understand. People say, oh, the bubble was a tough time. There was so much going on. Well, you get paid a lot of money to play basketball. You know what I'm saying? And I had a lot of stuff going on in the summer of 2022, and I had to grind it out, and not for $38 million. With that being said, it's just they never was able to get that super team going. But load management, I really think, listen, it's about the haves and the have-nots this time of year, and if the talent is out there, they got to play.
So, Corey, let's look to the nightcap tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern time. You've got the defending champs on
Legacy
the ropes.
Series.
You are taking shots to the midsection. You're taking uppercuts to the face. You're about to go home, and the Lakers are going in there. Which Laker team do we get tonight, Corey?
Which Laker team do we get?
In terms of this, you're up 3-1. Do you go in greedy? Like, I think Jimmy Butler, I don't think the Heat will be successful tonight, but I think Jimmy Butler is going to try to just go beast mode and win this game. I feel like LA is going to get blown out tonight. Okay, I feel like it's going to be a half-ass effort from them against desperation by the Golden State Warriors, and LA will be like, we'll just get them back home in Game 6. Which Laker team shows up? One that tries to go in for the kill, or one that says, we'll get you in Game 6?
See, I think they're going to be at some point late third, probably mid-third, when the Warriors go on that classic Golden State Warrior third quarter run. I can see them tapping out at that moment. First half should be nip and tuck close. Listen, the true mark of a champion is to go on the road and close these teams out on the road. If Miami can close New York out tonight on the road, Miami's a legit contender. If the Lakers,
I think they already are.
I agree.
They already are.
If the Lakers can go on the road and close out tonight, they should be the favorites to win the championship, because the Golden State Warriors, listen, never underestimate the heart of a champion. If you don't think that the Golden State Warriors can win games 5, 6, and 7, you're sadly mistaken, because this team can do that. You got to deliver a knockout punch to the champions. Do the Lakers have that in them tonight? Maybe not, but here's the thing. Friday night in Los Angeles, that joint going to be lit. Celebrity Row going to be lit. And then maybe we see another appearance by Kim Kardashian. The rumors is she's coming to see Lonnie Walker. And if I'm like, Lonnie Walker was almost out the league a couple years ago. Now you chumming up with Kim Kardashian, my man.
Yes, I already saw a press release stating that Kardashian was not at the game for a player. It was a trip out with her sisters and the momager.
Where there's smoke, where there's smoke, there's fire.
We all know what Jordan Poole just did. I mean, the $500,000
Lisa
date.
$500,000 on a chick from Fordham Road? Are you crazy?
I mean, that
Hey, listen, for the road, we can go a trip to Lazarus and buy some baby clothes, and you know what I'm saying, and we good to go. It's half a
but you
mil.
know, the one thing that looks very different for the Warriors right now, you know, we all know Jordan Poole is not contributing as we
No.
thought he would be at this point in this series, but Andrew Wiggins as well, not having. Do you think it's the impact that Wiggins took those couple of months off for his dad, and he's just not back in full rhythm yet?
I think that's a part of it. I think also game plan discipline to take him out the game. Here's the thing. The Lakers have become the best defensive team in the NBA, and it's not even close. They lock in on defense. Fantastic job putting that team together after the All-Star break or after the All-Star break, because that's not really the midway point of the season. Trade deadline, put that team together. When I was like nothing special about this team. But when you see them on defense and how they lock in and how they complement AD and LeBron, they're just taking these pieces away. Golden State's Klay Thompson has to step up. He has to step up. He was horrible in the 2 games in LA. He has to step up at home. He's never going to be the elite perimeter defender he was, but he needs to be able to hit those 3. The Warriors need to be able to rely on game plan discipline. But, you know, I don't think if it's going to happen for Wiggins, it's probably going to happen either late in this series or in the next series.
Randall, by the way, in the game, he got hit in the face. He's got a little bit of a puffy right eye on some contact. So no worries there. He's in there and playing. Now, he is also missing shots and turning the ball over, which is bothering the hell out of Knicks fans. But, you know, it is what it is.
You know, Knicks fans always have a love-hate relationship with their star players. It was the same way with Patrick Ewing, the same way with John Starks. It was the same way with Carmelo Anthony. It's been the same way with Randall. You just named the list. Knicks fans have a love-hate relationship with their star players, except for Jalen Brunson. They love Jalen Brunson.
And Bernard King, I would put up there as well. I think Bernard escapes a lot of that criticism in that trap. I'm on Klay Thompson over 22.5 tonight.
He's going to need it.
Do you have an appetite for that?
Yeah, I would get down on that. Klay has got to play better. And then, you know, you get this time of this play. Klay at home knows he has to show up. I think Klay is a big part of the victory tonight.
Let's go to another series. Some of the games we got going on. Corey, we know you've got a hard out at the 10 to the hour, so we will make sure we accommodate that. But I want to ask you about these Philadelphia 76ers.
Love them.
How are you feeling about them? The Celtics had such a great season. Is this series going to end for them?
The process has processed. You know, after all of those years of terrible teams and being and tanking and getting the first pick, they finally hit with Embiid. You know, Doc did take this team. This team hasn't even been to the conference championship yet. It looked like it's going to happen. I predicted the Sixers would make it to the conference finals this year by beating the Boston Celtics. Boston got off to that extremely hot start. They've been kind of mediocre since then. And especially the play of Jason Tatum. Oh, he scored 37 last night. He was 3 of 11 from three-point range last night. Not only does he shoot too many threes, he shoots untimely threes. Different points of the game, different motivations, the way that what's the word I'm looking for? You know, streaks, you know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't have streak stopping threes. You know what I mean? Players like that, the threes that he does hit are not big. They shoot way too many of them. There's no game plan discipline. And here is what it all boils down to. The Philadelphia 76ers, when they're getting from Joel Embiid, when they're getting from Maxey and Harden, Boston can't beat them.
Wow. I have not liked
Boston
what I've
was probably
seen.
the fourth best team in the Western Conference, in the Eastern Conference this year.
I completely disagree with that. We'll see how it goes. I mean, to say that Cleveland was better than Boston?
No, New York's better than Boston.
Really?
They beat them. They beat them 3 times this season. And
the regular season doesn't translate to the playoffs like that. There's
I would have loved.
This Knicks team is beating this Celtic team in the playoffs.
This Knicks team would have eliminated this Celtic team.
No way.
All right, we disagree.
There is no way. Sell me on Lamar Jackson completing a season.
Well, this is a quarterback, 45 and 16 is a starting quarterback. 2 injuries,
and he's missed huge amounts of games at the end of the last 2 years, which took them from playoff teams to non-playoff teams.
But when Lamar was healthy, each of the last 2 years, they were the top seed in the AFC.
And then he wasn't.
And you're right about that. And the health of Lamar Jackson is going to be critical. But I really think that, listen, I don't want to speculate. He wasn't there. That's what we know. Maybe if the contract was done, maybe he tries a little harder last year. I don't want to say that is the case because that's speculatory. But listen, I think that health is something that, Jalen Hurts can be that guy the next 2 seasons. So I don't think that there's any such thing as somebody being truly injury prone. I mean, look how Matthew Stafford started his career. He couldn't stay on the field. Super Bowl champion, borderline Hall of Famer now. Joel Embiid missed the first 2 years of his career. MVP, the process is processing. I know different sports, but I think Jackson, a fully healthy season from Jackson, they're the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Whoa.
Top seed.
Whoa.
I love
you
that.
You can have that,
now,
Corey. You can go ahead and have that one, man. You can go ahead and have that one.
You went there. You went on a little bit of NFL, so let's go.
Let's do it.
We got a light release of some of the games. We know that there's going to be the first Black Friday game. Day after Thanksgiving, a football game to me is like the greatest news ever.
That gives us a hint. That Black Friday game gives us a Thanksgiving Day hint. There's only 2 AFC teams travel to Texas this year. The Jets and New England. The AFC team that plays on Thanksgiving this year has to play Dallas. They played Buffalo played the AFC team last year. So if the Jets are playing on Black Friday, they can't play on Thanksgiving. Cowboys, Patriots, dinner time, Thanksgiving.
Ooh.
Good call.
Rick, you got one last one before we let Corey go?
I do. Corey, why isn't Joe Mazzulla double teaming Joel Embiid on every catch? And why does Joe Mazzulla have the Celtics in drop coverage on pick and rolls with Joel Embiid when he's got a wide open 15 or 17-foot jump shot, which is an absolute freaking layup for him? Why isn't Joe Mazzulla changing his defense on Joel Embiid?
Hey, I said this morning on Boosie Keith. The bottom line of Doc Rivers found somebody he can outcoach.
You got that right, man.
Yo, this guy in the first 2 months of the season, Coach of the Year candidate, the Celtics don't miss a beat. Now you got to be thinking, whatever happened in Boston, was it that serious that they had to make it public and fire their head coach?
Look, based on the details that we know,
we don't have no details.
That's what I'm saying. Based on the small amount of details that we have, I don't believe that Ime Udoka should have been fired. I think he should still be the Celtics coach. The players in that locker room want him to still be the coach of that team.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, they had to blow him out. And I don't know what he allegedly did. So I don't know. But what we know of what he did, I don't think was a career ender or a
like that could have stayed in. Rick, that could have stayed in house.
Yes, it could have. You could have just withheld wages from him, done some kind of internal fine, but they had other ideas. I don't know. Like, was it severe? Was it multiple? Was it? I don't know. I don't know. But the details that we know right now.
Yeah, exactly. It just
I would not have blown him out.
Hey, listen, I don't think that. Listen, now I understand. Listen, people date at work all the time.
This was reportedly consensual between Ime and the female involved. So again, like
But if you've ever watched The Office, you know
hard.
that you have to go to HR, report this, and also you both have to be single. Am I mistaken in the fact that one of the parties was married?
Ime.
Yeah.
No, Ime's not married. Ime's not married.
Oh.
He's not married.
He wasn't married.
No, they were not married. They date. They're not married.
I thought they were married. Do they have kids together?
No, they don't.
But he was in somewhat of a relationship, and then Office also had his work relationship. Am I correct?
I think
not judging.
Allegedly,
I'm not in the place to judge. But I think what it was they say, well, he was that employee was subordinate to him, and that can be a tricky thing. But I guarantee you, it's going on. It's going on a lot. I can tell you one place right now. I'm not going to though.
Okay. Well, thank you for that tidbit.
Because you'd have to kill us, so we don't want.
I might put it. I might
Keep
put it
that
in the
secret.
I might put it in the chat, and then you know what I'm saying. I'll leave it at that. But then again, y'all can't. I'll send y'all a text. Put it like that.
Corey, you visited Moose and Keith this morning.
Yeah,
You're
good
a
times.
host here on BSN. Where can everybody find all of your work other than your Twitter profile at the Fantasy Exec?
At the Fantasy Exec, and then do some stuff over. Write some articles, for Bovada Sportsbook. And then, right here, executive decisions, you know what I'm saying, right here on the network. And, hopefully we got some more stuff coming up soon. We amping up and getting ready for another football season that'll be here not too long. So, yeah, listen, anytime you guys want to holler at the Fantasy Executive, I'll be more than happy. Rick and Lisa, two of my favorite people.
Appreciate that,
we
Corey.
Appreciate you coming on tonight. Let's go Knicks. Let's get
go
another
Knicks.
game in because we want as much basketball as
Hey,
possible.
Lisa, did you go check out the Rangers too?
On occasion, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's what's
got
up.
to go to a Yankees game last week. Sat right behind home plate. It was amazing. It was just
I'm not a sit
night.
behind home plate guy. I'm more of a foul line or home run alley.
I'll tell you why. It was a great view for my first game this season in person, watching the shot clock. The pitch clock. I call it the shot clock.
I love that though. Shot
so
clock.
much more exciting because you're like watching this timer going, and I'm like, oh yeah, I like this. I know what's happening. I know in what time frame it's going to happen. You're watching someone trying to steal a base, and there's nothing the pitcher can do about it because there's only 4 seconds left on the pitch clock, and it just makes it. It made it a lot more thrilling. And that view, you get both angles of the clock. So I loved it.
I got anxiety. I'd be like, whoa.
Thank you so much for joining us, Corey. Have a great rest of your night. Rick, we're going to continue the conversation. I know you're going to want to check in with Ricky's props. It's early in this NBA game, but I'm still going to look at the scores right here. How are you feeling about Randall? Is the egg on his face getting bigger? How things just swell?
It was, it actually did look like it was becoming a pretty puffy situation on that eye, playing through it. But I've been we've been balling with Corey here. Let me pull up the old box score.
I got you right now. It's 16-10 Heat over the Knicks. It looks like we got
Not
4
good.
minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Oh my god!
What?
Ugh. The Knicks have 10 points, and there's 4:11 left to go in the first quarter. Ew.
Yeah, if anybody was putting together the over on the total points,
God.
they're probably stressing out right now. But anything can happen. Hey, look, the Heat only have 16. That's not that many either, compared to what these games have been putting up. By the way, the Knicks are up to 12, which is a great one. Randall just got a defensive rebound, but this is not the high-scoring affair for this situation.
No, wow. How about the shooting? 33% for the Knicks, 37% for Miami. Miami just missed rebound to Randall. I mean, we got to giddy up and go here. Jimmy Butler's got 2 points on the board right now. Not looking good. We got to get to around 30 with him. Glad I faded Randall, but we're on Brunson. He's got 2 field goals and 4 points, and RJ Barrett stinking it up. He's 0 of 3 right now. He's been over the number tonight in 5 of the last 6, but we got a long way to go, LA. We got a long way to go. Let's see if we can get some scoring up here.
Yeah, you got time here. I'm doing the math right now on how many points you actually need Jimmy Butler to handle to bring this back. He's got to do some extra work in the second quarter here. There's no doubt. We got the Warriors-Lakers game starting tonight at 10 o'clock. And we are looking at a lot of money right here with Jalen Brunson, Jimmy Butler, RJ Barrett, and then the late game, Klay Thompson. He's going to come to play tonight is what you're thinking because you put him in for the over 22.5 points.
22.5. Guys, here's some stats if you're just joining us here on Klay. In the 2 games in LA in this series, 12 points on 32% shooting. In the 2 games at home in this series, 27.5 points on 47% shooting. We have a bounce back factor in play. He comes off a terrible game 4. We have an all-time great bounce back factor in play, which is even more potent. He ain't going out like that. It's a death game. Okay. It's an elimination game. So he'll be out there getting his shots up. And I think he's going to be really dialed in tonight, LA. I like Klay Thompson a lot over 22.5.
He's got to be dialed in. They need Klay Thompson, and they actually need Wiggins to get out there and do a bit more as well. He was so good in recent years in the playoffs, but I think the family distraction is probably a lot. 2-3 months off midseason is a lot too.
It is. He also, for a lot of this series, has been matched up defensively with LeBron James, which obviously will sap legs and take you out of normal positions that you have been in. And I think Wiggins has been okay. He's been 15, 16, 17 points a game while guarding LeBron. I've been okay with what Andrew Wiggins has been bringing to the party. The two letdowns for Golden State have been, 2.5. Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, we've talked about both, and Draymond Green. Draymond Green had a 2-2-4 game 2 games ago or whatever it was. He's been very up and down. He either has a charged up Draymond Primal Scream game or he has a very small, invisible, we didn't really say your name at all during the broadcast Draymond game. When have you ever seen like real Draymond where we go a game and he's not really a factor? He puts his fingerprints all over every game he plays.
Yeah.
They need that Draymond tonight.
And also, this is going to be a big offseason for Draymond. What is he going to do? I mean, so many people feel he's a huge part of the fiber of the Warriors, which I agree with. But you just gave Jordan Poole this big money. Guess what? You can't offload him. Nobody's going to take Jordan Poole with this late season performance for the money that you just gave him. So what's your take on what Draymond does? Because he's one of those players that I just cannot visualize seeing in a different uniform.
So I think it would be a mistake for Draymond Green to opt out, LA. I think it would be a mistake. He's going to make $27.8 million next season. I don't think that there will be an annual salary that high for him anywhere else. Could he get 3 years and $60 million, $20 million a year? Yeah, he could get that deal. But I would come back for one more year with Golden State, whatever they do this year, give the dynasty one more last dance.
Agreed.
And then go to the summer of 2024, that much more cleansed, because a lot of front offices are looking at Draymond and they still have the punch on Jordan Poole in mind. Okay. If you don't win it this year, come back next year. Maybe you win it next year. And guess what? Winning cures everything. And so then you would hit the summer of 2024 as a free agent coming off of, a championship or some really good success. So that would be my advice. Here's a question I have for you, Lisa Ann. Let's say Draymond Green opts in to his contract for 2023-24. If you are then the Golden State Warriors, LA, do you treat Draymond like the Nets treated Kyrie Irving? They didn't want him there. He opted into the final year of that deal, right? And the Nets didn't want him to do that. They would have loved it if he just opted out and went somewhere else and he's somebody else's problem. But he opted in, took the bag, and Brooklyn was uneasy with that all year, and of course, eventually traded him. If you're the Golden State Warriors, are you like, yeah, that's it. I'm good on the Draymond experience. I'm looking to trade him to the Lakers or wherever else. You're like, yo, let's run it back one more time.
I don't think you are. I mean, he's just so embedded in the culture. I think it would just be really devastating for the fan base. The fan base loves Draymond. Draymond brings an energy that's kind of unexplainable. It doesn't always bring the points, but he'll bring the rebounds. He'll bring the blocks. He'll bring the assists. I mean, just the stats that he does stack. And yeah, the Nets gave up on Kyrie, but he wasn't as embedded in the Nets culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't even think the Nets really have a culture,
Great
right?
point.
Draymond is really kind of that glue, right? He's that
No doubt.
that friend in the classroom that gets everybody kind of together. So I think it's smart for him to say it. And look, I think it'd be hard for him to find a fit where he's going to get along with everybody. Right now, everybody has his back. Even the Jordan Poole situation earlier before the season started, his teammates had his back. They rallied back around him. They made this work. We've seen with other teams when things go wrong like that, that's chemistry forever. There's a grudge forever. There might still be a grudge between him and Jordan Poole, no doubt. But I believe that team loves him. I believe the fan base loves him. And I wouldn't like to see him go and do like the 1 year here, 1 year there, 1 year here, 1 there. What are you reacting to right now?
First of all, I completely agree with you on everything you said right there. I'm running it back with Draymond, and I'm living, with the highs and the lows and whatever. Oh my God, was that a bad call in the Knick and Heat game? Josh Hart is closing out on Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler sticks the leg out, okay, in front of him on his landing to the court. It's an offensive foul. Josh Hart comes out and closes. Rule of verticality, perfectly in the air. Does not bring the gates down on Butler at all. And Josh Hart did not get his feet under Jimmy Butler's landing space, which is either a foul or maybe even a flagrant one, okay? One of the worst calls I've seen all year. And Jimmy Butler sticked out his leg to draw the contact, and then he fell, and they called a foul. They're reviewing it right now, LA. But here's the problem. It's foul number 3 on Josh Hart, and there's a minute to go in the first quarter. They can't have Josh Hart in foul trouble. He's the Jimmy Butler guard guy. They got to have him.
So they got to have him out there. And with this, if he gets this, if they do review this and he gets it, then he's going to be sitting on the bench for the second quarter. Like, you're going to have to stay.
Oh my God. Like, I got to walk around the neighborhood. Like, I literally can't believe what's going on right now.
Well, you can walk around the neighborhood while we take a quick break. Everybody in the room, Byron in here, great to see you. Better Boss is on K tonight. Draymond would fit with the Lakers because Braun is there. That is a possibility. They are really tight. We'll continue the conversation at the top of the hour. We've got Vlad Sedler joining us at 8:30. Everybody stay right here. And Rick is going to update us on exactly what just happened. And you're listening to Lisa, Ann and Rick Kamla right here on Bettor Sports Live on the Bettor Sports Network.
We got a question in here from Chill. It said, do we like Deuce Vaughn with his story in the open backfield in Dallas? Think he could have a big pass catching role?
Hey, buddy. How's it going? Hey, it's going good. This is Dad. My phone wasn't working. Look at here, man. You want to come to work with me next week? I wouldn't mind that at all.
So what do you guys think about Deuce Vaughn getting drafted by the Dallas Cowboys? His dad's there. What do you guys think about his potential upside for fantasy?
As far as his dad being there, I think you can take one of two approaches here, and it's the college homer rating their college players in the NFL kind of approach. Either he's a homer, he's too close to it, he can't look at it objectively, or he knows the ins and outs of this player better than anybody else in the entire world, right? So if there is anybody who knows what he can bring to a team, it is his father. There's also it's his father. Can he look past his bias towards his son? I tend to lean towards he works for this team. It's his job. Of course, there's faith in his son, but there's probably a role for him. That being said, I think it's Tony Pollard's backfield. He'll play a complementary role. I don't think we see even RB2 numbers out of him. And there's a real chance they bring Zeke back as well, right? I don't think they're done.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I think Zeke still being out there, it's very likely that he returns to Dallas over any other team. I think if you were putting odds on it, you'd probably say right now it's Dallas. And if that happens, there's no place for Deuce Vaughn in this at all. And even if Zeke doesn't return, I have a lot of trouble feeling that there was more than, change of pace, low end change of pace role, like 3, 4, 5 touches a game kind of a thing.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. We would need to see him take a massive step up to be really considered here for fantasy. But, could definitely help that Dallas run offense, because I don't think it can really run all the way through Tony Pollard. I think they do need other options there.
And we are back right here. It doesn't look like Rick Kamla did the full lap around his neighborhood, but we are going to get the replay on this play. And we are back, Lisa and Rick Kamla, right here with you on Bettor Sports Live. So great to see all of you in the chat. Chris Paul is officially ruled out for tomorrow. There's an update coming from our friend Scrimp Daddy in the chat. And I'm going to be opening up a little doc with this all NBA team, and you're going to tell me what just happened there. What just happened with this call?
Okay. I'm going to be howling about this tomorrow on NBA radio. Oh, my God. So not only did they not reverse the foul on Josh Hart, they doubled down and gave Josh Hart a flagrant foul 1 for getting under Jimmy Butler's landing space. Oh, my God. I'm offended right now, LA. I'm offended. This is
how bad are the Knicks fans? I know you don't have your volume up, but I can only imagine how bad the Knicks fans are chanting at that ref right now.
I mean, refs, you suck. Refs, you suck needs to be billowing down from the rafters of MSG for the rest of the game. Oh, my God. It's an offensive foul on Jimmy Butler. We're going the other way. Josh Hart still has 2 fouls, not 3. But right now, Josh Hart has 3 fouls and a flagrant, which means if he gets tangled up and gets another tech or a flagrant, he's ejected from the game. The Knicks, oh, by the way, are down 10 at the end of the first quarter. Very lifeless, very flat. There's no vibe and electricity in the arena. LA, wow. It's all Miami right now. Like all Miami.
Is this going to be over tonight? I don't
I
want
don't
this
know.
to be over yet. This is so incredibly
We got a long way to go, LA.
upsetting.
We got a long way to go, but
Okay,
just
so
not in a good
so
start.
Jeff has his volume on and did verify they are screaming, "Ref, you suck." That is come on. I mean,
Let's go.
let's hope we get to the end of this quarter and this is the fuel that the Knicks needed, because now you got to bring other role players in to help you while you're putting Hart out of harm's way by not having him in much for the second quarter. What are the choices?
Well, here's the problem. You don't have Emmanuel Quickly. The almost sixth man of the year. He's out with an injury. Josh Hart went to the locker room, I presume, to blow off some steam after that horse bleep call. Quentin Grimes, I mean, you basically got six dudes right now. You split the center position up with Robinson and Hartenstein, and then you've got Randall, a little bit of Toppin, and you got Grimes, you got Barrett, you got Brunson. Grimes, Barrett, and Brunson are Tibbs is going to be like, yo, can you play every minute of the game? Okay, cool, because I'm going to play you until you literally your tongue falls out and you stop running because you had collapsed because of exhaustion. But the Knicks are not real deep right now, LA.
Not real deep. That is a thing. Let's switch gears while we're at this break, waiting for the second quarter to start. Let's talk a little. What's more likely?
Ooh.
What's more likely? The Vikings win the NFC North, or the Lions win that division?
I got the Lions, LA. I want your opinion on this as well. The Vikings had obviously an amazing year. If you guys have been paying attention, and I presume you have, you're here on Better Sports Network. I think we're all pretty headsy fantasy and betting people. The Vikings were 13-4 last year. Raise your hand. Actually, I'm going to put my hand down. Raise your hand if you think the Vikings are going to duplicate that or come even close to that, because you're on a dinghy in the middle of the ocean, and I'm not in that dinghy with you, okay? 13-4. What the Vikings do, LA, is they have a year like this. And by the way, nobody thought the Vikings were going to be that good last year. So you catch up on everybody and you sneak up on everybody, have a big year, you raise expectations, the town is on fire, ready for a championship, and then you suck the next year. And it's the typical Minnesota Vikings pump fake letdown heartbreak, okay? Trust me, I lived it for almost 50 years. So that's what's going to happen this year. So it's a Viking thing and a Lion thing. LA, the Lions were my number 2 winner of the entire offseason behind Philadelphia. They did very well in the draft. They did very, very, very well in free agency. And I love their roster, okay?
Yeah, Justin Jefferson was part of that reason for the 13-4 season, no doubt. Dalvin Cook had his moments as well. They have the roster is strong, but I agree that it'll deflate a bit this season.
So do you have the Lions over the Vikings in the NFC North like me?
I really hadn't thought that far about life, but I love where we're going here. And so now I'm analyzing this situation. That's why I like this Would You Rather, because I wanted to hear your point. Look, my concern is, can Jared Goff have 2 good back-to-back seasons, right? I do believe that he's
legit.
But we have to think about this. If he does, it's awesome, because we love to see a player revive their career. People wrote Jared Goff up as no good after he took the team to the Super Bowl, right? That's my question. What Jared Goff is going to show up this season? Are there enough pieces when it comes to their wide receivers? I just don't feel Marvin Jones Jr., not enough. You look at this depth. Amon-Ra St. Brown is definitely their wide receiver 1, right? He's the everything. But when it comes to how much are you really going to do with David Montgomery? He has a good day. He has a bad day. Let's just I think they're really going to be missing out when it comes to that tight end depth that we know Jared Goff likes to lean on.
Okay, so Detroit at wide receiver, you mentioned St. Brown. They've got Jamison Williams on the 6-game suspension. You've got Marvin Jones, and you're right. It is going to be an issue for them at the start here when they don't have Jamison Williams. My thing with the Detroit Lions, LA, is my only hang up, okay, is Jared Goff. He's my only hang up with this team.
Because you feel unsure, right? You just
Yeah.
need to see him out there to see like where you're at this season.
No question about it. Now, look, I'm betting on Jared Goff. I think they're going to win this division, but we have strengths and weaknesses and question marks and red flags and all that stuff with all these teams. Well, that's the red flag with Detroit. Can Goff hold his water? You draft Sam Laporta out of Iowa in the second round. So you're trying to add to that tight end room. Your wide receivers are going to be, LA, this is, Josh Reynolds, Marvin Jones, Amon-Ra St. Brown, kind of a no-name group of tight ends. Jared Goff officially has pressure at his door. You are not set up with a bevy of options like Joe Burrow has, right? I mean, Josh Reynolds, okay, journeyman. Marvin Jones, pretty much towards the end of his career, good player, history with the team. But that is, look, I'm still fading Minnesota, and I'm still going with the Lions to win this division. But until Jameson Williams gets back, it's going to be kind of a by committee thing, and we'll see.
Which is
but
also
that's
going to be. That's also going to be hard on Jared Goff because now Jared Goff has to adjust. And then after that 6-game suspension ends, has to readjust. And also Reynolds, Williams, he can't even be in the facility, right? When you're suspended, because this is the sports gambling thing, you can't even be in this facility for camp or anything else. Am I correct?
I think you can practice and do all that stuff, but you just can't play.
Okay.
But I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure.
That's rhythm. How do you come in mid-season, right? You don't know what other pieces are going to be injured by then. It's after week 6. So it's touch and go, right? I know you're not a big fan of Kirk Cousins. There's question marks there, but I just like the depth, the receivers, the options that Kirk Cousins have, I think more than I like the options and receivers that Jared Goff has.
I guess I would debate you on that a little bit. I don't think I don't have too much of an issue with that. We're Jordan Addison is going to start for this team. He has a chance, LA, to be the best rookie wide receiver this year. A very, very, very good chance over Jackson Smith and Jigba as the third guy in Seattle, or Quentin Johnston as the third guy with the LA Chargers. KJ Osborne, frankly, he's been a really nice player for them. You know what I mean? In the slot. He doesn't have big games every game, but he catches big touchdowns. And you've got Hawkinson. So I will acquiesce to you, LA. I will acquiesce to you. Again, not changing my opinion, but I will acquiesce to you. You make a good point. Cousins has better weapons and better options than Goff does. I will give you that.
If we could just change shoes and we could put Goff in that situation with JJ, Justin Jefferson, I'd be like, okay, you got JJ, you got Dalvin Cook, you're rolling. To Jared Goff's old home, what's more likely, the Rams or the Broncos bounce back this season? And let me just say, Russell Wilson was just at a game sitting with Sean Payton. Did you see this?
Of course.
What were they showing each other? What was he showing him on the phone? Like, it was so important. Sean Payton had to show him something. And of course, all the memes, everybody on the internet was like, oh, he's showing him all of his bad plays from last season.
Oh, wow.
It went down that rabbit hole. I think it's make it or break it right now for Denver. I think Payton's going to be a much better coach for Russell Wilson. Wilson already looks a bit leaner, so that should be helpful. And for that reason, don't really know much about Matthew Stafford. Like, what is his health going to be? Will he be 100%? How do you feel about their backup QBs? Cooper Kupp's going to be back. Will he be the same Cooper Kupp? He was amazing. Tyler Higbee didn't do what we wanted as much as we needed it to last season. So for me, I kind of feel like the Broncos can bounce back faster than the Rams.
I agree, LA. I do agree with that. And you know how I felt about last year's Broncos team. They let me down, blah, blah, blah. Oh, my. Just let's get back to this in a minute. The Knicks right now are on an 18-2 run, LA. They have taken a 32-26 lead. RJ Barrett just banged a right corner 3-ball. Jalen Brunson vibing, diming, rebounding. He just got an and one himself. The Knicks right now, LA, they are pissed. That bad call against Josh Hart literally woke them up. It was like a fish across the face slap. I mean, they've literally woken up.
That's what they needed. That is what they needed. That was the reality check they needed. And I'm sure the fans are giving them juice right now because the fans were mad. Like the energy at MSG is just running through them right now. And the entire second quarter has looked different than the first so far.
Oh, I was about to freak out. Jalen Brunson just towed the line for a 3 and it popped in and out. But here's Brunson with a rebound. And we've got his PRA prop tonight, so we need that. Brunson, dime to Grimes, 3-ball. No, sorry. Oh, here's Brunson on a reload. Shoot the ball, dude. Don't you know we got the over on you out here? Obi Toppin for 3. No. Okay, back to the Broncos. The Broncos defense, LA, has a chance to be elite. The Rams does not. The Rams offensive line is a mess. It was a mess last year, especially on the left side with Noteboom, who took over for Andrew Whitworth. He did not do his job. I mean, Stafford was getting killed off pressure from the blind side last year. Rookie Steve Avila, second-round pick, will be the left guard. I mean, he may be really, really good, LA, but you got a questionable offensive line. Ben Skoranek, Van Jefferson, and Cooper Kupp right now are your wide receivers for the Rams. That's not enough. Tyler Higbee is still your average tight end. Cam Akers is still your average running back. And I think they're going to have an average defense. So, LA, I think the Rams are going to be 7-10, 8-9, maybe 9-8, like kind of maybe knocking on the door of the playoffs, but falling short. Denver, it all comes back to Russell Wilson. Now, I'm not betting on Denver to do anything big. I don't have them in my playoffs right now, but I think they have a better chance because of Sean Payton and because of the defense that they have. They have a better chance of making a bounce back than the Rams.
Yeah, because if Jared Goff is always playing from behind and has to put up massive numbers where Russell Wilson doesn't because the defense is playing well, then you've got all things working for Russell Wilson. There's absolutely no way Wilson could have a worse season than he had last year.
There's no way.
No way.
There is no way.
No way. So with that said, it's kind of popping up daisies, right? This is like, okay, it has to be better. The confidence of Sean Payton is going to be a big one. Let's go to another one. What's more likely? The Dolphins or the Chargers make the playoffs? For me, this is an easy one.
Okay, hit me. Who you got?
All day long. It's going to sound crazy, but I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I love Justin Herbert, so it's not a quarterback situation. It's coaching. It's the fourth quarter of every single Chargers game, no matter how well they've played, it unravels. Like, you cannot get confident watching a Chargers game in the third quarter, scores great. You're like, you know what? I'm going to flick this off. I'm going to watch this other game. And then you go back, you're like, what could have possibly happened? Well, the Chargers happened and they lost the game. So for me, I look at Tua. Of course, we're going to always discuss as long as he can stay healthy. But I look at Tua. I look at Tua and Tyreek. I look at Miami's defense, and I see good things for Miami, although I'd love to see great things for Justin Herbert.
So I have a much bigger opinion about Miami than the LA Chargers. I think Miami was going to do some potentially large things last year, and they lost Tua to the head injuries. And so if he can stay healthy, I think they can do big things this year and kind of complete it. You know what they started last year? You've got the most speed of anybody in the NFL. You've got 4-3 guys: Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert, and Devon Achane, and a coach that knows how to use speed and put speed up to bat. Your defense is good. Miami was 19th in overall defense last year, LA, but I don't know. I like the construction of their defense. They got a lot of the same guys coming back from last year, but you remember under Brian Flores, they were a really good defense. So I think the infrastructure is there to get back to being, 12th or 13th in defense. I don't see a top 10 defense, but I think they can be plus on the defensive side. And I think they have a chance to be LA, like borderline unstoppable on offense, with all that speed that they've got. So, and then the Chargers, LA, it's just to fade the Chargers because they're a playoff failure waiting to happen. Like you said, It's always something with them. And by the way, the Chargers defense has a chance to be complete trash this year. Very untalented defense.
Yeah, that's going to make us making some bets for matchups really fun. Let's go to this one right here. I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to go to the Browns-Ravens because this is an interesting conversation. I don't know if we saw enough of Deshaun Watson last season, but now everything is behind him. We know he was an incredible quarterback, but we also have to remember that was like 4 or 5 years ago. Does he have enough there Amari Cooper, is he consistent enough? DPJ had some big games last year. Then you look at the Ravens, who finally got it together and put some weapons around Lamar Jackson, giving him more opportunity. What do you say on this one? This one's way closer for me than the easy decision of the Chargers, Miami. What do you say? What's more likely, the Browns or the Ravens make the playoffs?
So I got to correct something that I said earlier. Corey asked me about the AFC North, and I said I had three teams in the playoffs from that division. Or wait a minute, one. I have two. I have the Browns in the playoffs. So I was wrong about that. But I do not have Baltimore in the playoffs. And anybody wants to come with a little, offline bets about, the Ravens, if you have big opinions, I'm totally here for it. But Cleveland, LA has arguably the best offensive line in football. Willis, Bitonio, Pochich, Teller, and Conklin. I mean, these are household names in Cleveland. Cooper, DPJ, and Elijah Moore, who I like a lot out of the slot, 4-4 guy. Fell out with the Jets, but a great trade by the Browns. You've got David Njoku behind him, Jordan Atkins, the former Texan who I always liked in that uniform. So you've got a great offensive line. You've got skill players. By the way, Nick Chubb is going to lead the league in rushing this year, in my opinion, LA. He's going to go off and have a Hall of Fame year. He may go for like 2,000. I'm telling you right now, I think that Nick Chubb is going to have a fabulous, spectacular year. And then you've got a defense, LA, that is not great. They were 15th in defense last year. But again, if you've got an offense that's really rolling in your middle of the pack, maybe you get up to 10, 11, 12 plus defense, I think good things are going to happen for you. In LA, I am banking on Deshaun Watson to get into great shape and get his game back laser locked and have a good year. A possible comeback player of the year type of year.
Well, you brought up Nick Chubb. Let's go to this last one right here. Nick Chubb or Derrick Henry or Jonathan Taylor lead the NFL in rushing. It seems to be, by your last bit of commentary, that you think that Nick Chubb will lead the NFL in rushing this season.
Kareem Hunt is gone. The backup running back for the Cleveland Browns right now is a guy that I really like, but I don't think he's going to sort of vulture, hold on a second. I got to organize my thoughts here. Jerome Ford is a badass, okay? Started at Alabama, went to Cincinnati the year that they went to the college football playoff, first group of 5 team ever to do that. He had like 20 touchdowns for that team. He's a stud, but Kareem Hunt is a stud as well. Well, not anymore. He's out of the league, but he was, and he was paid, right? Money finds the field. But it was the red zone utilage of Kareem Hunt that drove me crazy as a Nick Chubb manager in a lot of leagues, LA. I have him in Dynasty and all kinds of stuff. And I mean, he has 45 yards of the 67-yard drive to get him to the 5-yard line, right? They pull Nick Chubb out. The next play, they run some kind of, misdirection action. Kareem Hunt makes a dude miss, touchdown, Kareem Hunt. Dude, Nick Chubb did all the work. Why did you put Kareem Hunt in? That's not happening anymore, LA. Nick Chubb will be able to dot the I now. He's going to have a massive season.
I like it. Let's go one more here. Jordan Addison or Jackson Smith-Njigba is a better fantasy wide receiver as a rookie.
Boy, this is really a dynasty versus redraft situation here. Dynasty, I'm still going Jackson Smith-Njigba. I'm sorry. I have a huge opinion about this young man. I think he's going to be a star in the NFL. I think Jordan Addison's going to be a star in the NFL, but I know JSN is going to be a star in the NFL. So I may draft JSN and live through, you know what I'm saying, the Lockett years until he retires, and then it'll be Metcalf and JSN. Addison is going to be put up to bat right away. He'll be the number 2 behind Justin Jefferson there in Minnesota. So I think you're going to get more instant gratification out of Addison this year. I think he'll be the better fantasy wide receiver this year. In redraft leagues, I would take him over JSN. But in dynasty leagues, LA, you're concerned about now, but you're also looking ahead to the future. And you're also so I would still take the long haul. I'd rather sign up for the entirety of Jackson Smith-Njigba's career than I would Jordan Addison's career.
I get it. I completely get it. Byron Nelson in the chat says Tomlin will surprise the both of you. And Pitra says she has to leave. Enjoy the rest of the show. It's daytime. Pitra's probably got to go to work right now, even though after this show we're on the opposite schedule. Fantasy football best ball season is here. And you can join a live draft and try to beat your favorite fantasy alarm analyst while talking about your picks and strategy live on Bettor Sports Network. Sign up for a live draft on the Fantasy Alarm Discord today. Remember, you must have a Fantasy Alarm subscription to join. So visit fantasyalarm.com for subscription options or to jumpstart your dominance over the competition. We've got a guest coming on at 8:30. We got Vlad Sedler joining us, head of MLB FTN Fantasy content. Before we go and take a quick one, let's look at this score because this game is getting exciting. You got the Heat right now, 39-36. It is hard to believe how many points have been put up in the first half of the second quarter compared to the entire first quarter.
That first quarter was dreadful, man. Where are my notes on this game? It was 24 I have 24-21. Was that really? I thought it was 24-14. I think that might have been a typo. I'm keeping some notes here. But anyway, it's been a scoring explosion, LA, which we needed. We've got some overs tonight. Jimmy Butler's got to get it cooking. He just hit a bucket for Miami. We're tied at 39. He's got 8. And we got to get to 28, over 27.5. Brunson's at 16, LA. So he shot up pretty quickly. He's also at 4 rebounds and 5 assists, right? We got the PRA prop. There's Brunson for 3, back heeling off. Rebound Robinson. And Barrett is getting it going, LA. Here's Brunson with a layup for the New York Knicks, and Rick Kamla is beaming with pride. And you've got RJ Barrett now up to 10 points, LA. He's now looking good. He's on pace to hit his over. Let's go.
Yeah, we just needed one bad call. That's all the Knicks needed. They needed one bad call to fear them into getting their shit together and saying oh, you know what? We're going to take this game seriously. We're going to show up and play, and presenting some challenges for the Heat. I'd love to see the Knicks win this game tonight, not just for the fans that are there that understand this is probably their last game of the season. They're going to see the Knicks, but for us to get that extra NBA action to end the week as well. We get back, we'll be talking to Vlad Sedler. We're going to talk some MLB. I cannot wait to hear how all your leagues are doing. We'll talk about that and more. You're listening to Lisa Ann and Rick Kamla right here, Bettor Sports Live at the Bettor Sports Network.
So I grabbed DK Metcalf. I'm very, very curious as to hearing all three of your guys' takes on the Seattle situation now that they took Jackson Smith and the Jigba, and where we see the target distribution going as far as this goes.
Yeah, the way I look at it is this: Jackson Smith and Jigba just became Chris Godwin, where when Chris Godwin joined the Bucs, they had Mike Evans and they had Deshaun Jackson, and Chris Godwin would come in and play slot in 3 wide receiver sets, but then he would come out of the field for 2 wide receiver sets. I think that's exactly what happens early on with the Seahawks, who have Metcalf and Lockett, JSN coming in. Lockett's 31, though, in September. So, like we saw with Chris Godwin, once he became the man in 2 wide receiver sets, it was wheels up. That might happen this year, might happen next year, but I don't think a guy like Metcalf is ever coming out of the game, so I have no problem with that pick here still.
Yeah, I just, at the current ADP for Jackson Smith and Jigba, I think it's a bit rich. You could probably see him coming off in the 5th, even the 6th round, but Seattle ran the 6th lowest 11 personnel last year. I just worry when he's going to get on the field. Granted, he is going to get rotated in. There's going to be times where maybe Lockett's out and he comes in or something like that. But they do run a lot of 12 personnel with 2 tight ends. So that's what I worry about with Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think he's a great dynasty pick. I just can't imagine him getting on the field too much where he's going to be able to pay off that specific ADP.
I agree completely. And then from another total wild card perspective, they got Charbonnet. So how hard are they going to establish the run versus how much are they going to pass? It's just so many questions in that offense.
And we are back right here, Lisa Ann and Rick Kamla on Bettor Sports Live. We'll be joined by Vlad Sedler coming up. Thank you to our producer for sending over the list. So have you yet been able to peep this list, Rick, which is the NBA? Let me pull this back up. It is the all NBA teams. I got the article. Do you have it in front of you? Because I will tell you, this is our all NBA first team. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander from Oklahoma City Thunder. Luka.
Whoa. Time out.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is first team All-NBA?
All-NBA first team. Yep.
Oh, I am shocked. Drop me off of the Empire State Building, splat on the ground, shocked. Oh my God. Like, I like it, LA. I like it.
You got Luka.
Oh,
you got
wow.
Giannis, Jason Tatum, and Embiid. That is the All-NBA first team. How do you feel about it?
All right. So LA, I gotta get into my NBA awards doc here and go to my All NBA teams. Okay.
Okay, because you had of course, you had put this together, right? You had been making plans.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of I've got my MVP, my All NBA teams, all that kind of hell. I do a preseason All-Star team. So yeah, I'm pretty here it is. All right. So you said, let me get a piece of paper here. That first team, you just give it to me again. You had Luka, you had SGA.
Giannis, Jason Tatum, and Joel Embiid.
Okay. So first of all, Jokic, not a first team All-NBA guy, which is a takeaway. My first team was Jokic, Giannis, Tatum, Doncic, Mitchell.
Interesting. Okay.
That was my first team. So we've got some differences here.
All right, let's put a pin on that. We're going to go from the hardwood out to the diamond. We've got Vlad joining us right here. Vlad, it's so great to see you, Vlad Sedler. You can follow at RotoGut, head of MLB content at FTN Fantasy. It is MLB time right now. We are here with you, Vlad. Thank you for joining us tonight on Better Sports Live.
Thank you so much, Lisa Ann. Rick, good to meet you. This is
good
great.
To meet you too.
Thank you. It's the best time of the year. We're right in the thick of things. About 20% of the MLB season complete, and just so much action to go.
So, Vlad, I have to tell you, I got to go to my first game last week, went to a Yankees game, had great seats, and I absolutely loved my new obsession with the pitch clock. I thought it gave another element of excitement to the game. I know some people do not feel the time really mattered, but it just gives you another focus point. Maybe it's a generational thing of how we are now conditioned to do things, but you understand what's taking place by knowing how much time is up there. What's been your take so far on the pitch clock?
It's been good so far. I think there was that natural ramp up period, that adjustment, and we had a few violations early on in the spring and in the season as well. But so far, it's been great. You've seen the pitchers adjusting. Obviously, a rough month for a lot of them. ERAs, whips are up across the board in the majors, but I think things will settle down as we get in the middle of the summer and all the pitchers getting used to it. So far it's good, and the games are going by faster. We can watch more baseball, and it just has a better feel to it all around.
Vlad, who has been your best waiver wire discovery thus far on this Major League Baseball season?
Well, I do have to give myself a quick pat on the back for Yandy Diaz, just because he was a target for me preseason and he was a late round pick. And so obviously all those Rays are really going off. But I guess I would say Brent Rooker for the Oakland A's. He just officially today qualified. He's officially a qualified major league player based on his plate appearances and leads the majors in WRC plus, which is intriguing considering he, plays for the Oakland Athletics, and that offense obviously isn't all that good. But Brent Rooker, who's kind of a late bloomer and has been kind of bounced around a lot of teams, he's off to a nice start, and he might keep it up.
Vlad, I have to ask you, how many fantasy baseball leagues are you in?
Oh, you don't. I don't think you want to know. Well, I have 29.
Oh, wow. Holy cow.
10 of them are fab. So waiver wire, every Sunday where I'm sitting there for a couple hours. And I also do a column that gives that advice. So I'm kind of a, open book where people can see that advice and then bid against me if they're in my league. So 19 best balls, and then the rest are all fab leagues. So it's a fun Sunday. The family understands.
Holy cow. That's very impressive. 29 leagues. I'm in 10, Vlad. And I guess I have bandwidth for a few more, but not 19 more. I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed by that. Give me your best waiver wire hit with pitchers so far. Because we pick up streamers a lot, right? Or 2-start pitchers, and they do well. Sometimes they don't, and sometimes streamers stick. Nathan Eovaldi for me in a Yahoo league, and it's one of the public leagues. He got dumped. I picked him up as a streamer. I mean, how do you drop Nathan Eovaldi right now? He's been fantastic. So give me a waiver wire discovery that you're feeling good about from the pitching ranks.
I think first guy that comes to my head would be Bryce Elder for the Atlanta Braves, and obviously that's it's a great place to pitch. You know that you're going to get consistent run support from the offense and get a few of those wins, and so he's been actually outperforming his expected metrics. But that could last, and we've seen players in the past like Gio Gonzalez, a perfect example. Former Washington National, was outperforming his metrics almost every single year. So I think he's been a pretty nice addition. And then we just had this influx of young arms, all these pitchers that have been coming up. Tanner Bybee on Cleveland, Logan Allen on Cleveland. I've got Yuri Perez is officially going to make the start for Miami on Friday. He's a 20-year-old kid.
Ooh.
He could stick. I mean, he's one of the top prospects in baseball right now.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Vlad, we know that Tampa has been playing some incredible baseball. What team has surprised you so far? I know there's a lot of talk about the Pirates being exciting as well, but where are you at with the team that has surprised you the most that maybe you didn't go for as many shares in your leagues from their players?
That's an easy one. That's the Texas Rangers, because they lead the league actually since Corey Seager went down, and I think it was the second week of April, arguably their best player. They lead the league in runs scored per game, or in runs scored general, but they're averaging over 7 runs scored per game. And that's a team I did not have a lot of exposure to. Not a lot of Josh Young. Adolis Garcia has been a beast. People have been fading him for the last couple of years, and every year he's hitting 20 home runs and stealing a bunch of bases. Just amazing. So yeah, Texas so far to me got some Seager, but besides that, I'm kind of missing out on all those top guys.
Oh, man, I have been Adolis Garcia has been paying the bills for me, Vlad, for now. This is the third year. 3 years ago was his first pop year, right? We know, oh, wow, got him off the waiver wire. Going into last year, fell in a bunch of drafts. Okay, really? You guys are just going to fade this guy? He's got 25 potential. Okay. And it happened again this year. I mean, I literally could not be more invested in Adolis Garcia. So to hear you say that was pretty cool. I'm a big fan. Let me talk to you, Vlad, about an award here that I thought was very, very debatable. And it was Cy Young in the National League. In terms of odds, it's Strider at plus 230, Zach Gallen at plus 215, Clayton Kershaw plus 1,000. Clayton Kershaw, to me, his numbers are phenomenal and better, or at least right there with these other two. Strider was my preseason pick to win the award. But Clayton Kershaw at plus 1,000 compared to these other guys with similar numbers in the plus 200s. Like, let's bang on Kershaw and hope he doesn't get hurt, right? Where are you at with that, Vlad?
Yeah, those are great odds. I think the only concern that fantasy players and Dodgers fans had before the season started was innings limitations. Just wanting to make sure that he is fully ramped up for the playoffs. And as some teams do, you sometimes get those phantom IL stints. And we might see that sometime maybe around the All-Star break with Kershaw, just to preserve his arm over the second half of the season. But man, he's a great pick. If you're telling me those are the odds, that's really, really nice. I do love your Spencer Strider pick. I think that's what I would have done in the preseason and bet on him. He's an absolute beast. So, but Clayton Kershaw at plus 1,000, those are phenomenal odds. And you mentioned Zach Gallen. He's incredible too. And looks like Arizona has been in the hunt there in the playoff. Well, so far it's early. Dodgers, maybe Padres will be in competition for that division. But yeah, that's a nice 3-way race, and we might see some other players pop in there.
We're talking about Vlad Sedler, who you can follow at RotoGut. So, Vlad, I am a New York Mets fan. So, you know, my thoughts are right now. The entire offseason led us to believe that there was so much money being thrown around that there was no way we could end up with this type of a starting record for our season. Where are we failing? And do you see the Mets being mediocre for the whole season? Or do you think past All-Star break, something changes? What's going on?
Well, I don't know. It feels like they're cursed. It kind of really feels that way, especially with the Verlander preseason injury.
Yeah.
I'm heavily invested in Max Scherzer, and unfortunately, he's dealing with the shoulder thing, then a neck spasm, and the suspension, and just a lot of poor fortune. You do have your stable bats. You've got Brandon Nimmo at the top, Pete Alonso, Francisco Lindor. Those guys are performing admirably. You got the kids now in the mix, Brett Beatty and Francisco Alvarez, by the way, who had a couple of home runs from the bottom of the lineup the other day. Those guys are excellent, and they're only going to get better. The key there is that the Mets give them consistent playing time, keep them in the lineup, even if they're lefties. Let them hit against lefties as well. Let them get that experience. They're going to need it for the playoffs. And then the pitching staff, unfortunately, just a disaster. And I think Cody Senga will kind of get the hang of things. His first year in the big leagues, walking too many guys currently, but they'll figure it out. It's going to be a lot smoother of a second half. Though I will say, I think that the Braves are going to run away with that division.
Oh, by the way, Rick, wasn't that your call before the season even started? Was Atlanta Braves everything?
Yeah, not to win it all. I had the Padres winning it all, but I did have the Braves winning the National League East. Love their roster. You lose Kyle Wright. You've got, they've missed Arcia for a bunch of games. Doesn't matter, man. So, all right, Vlad, where do I want to go with you right now? I want to talk to you about Josiah Gray of the Washington Nationals. He won again tonight, 7 strong, only 3 Ks, which, hey, what's going on? I need my Ks, man. But got another win tonight, came in with really, really good numbers, Vlad, as you know, 3.03 ERA, 8.61 Ks per 9, couple of wins. Now he's got 3 wins. We've seen Mackenzie Gore have a good start to the season for Washington. What are they, 16-21 right now? They're right behind Lisa Ann's New York Mets. So is Josiah Gray real? Would you hold him for the entire season? Would you sell high with him right now? And then talk to me about the Nationals are blowing me away with even the record that they have. I thought they were going to be suckitude like the A's this year. So talk to me about all that, Vlad.
Yeah, I mean, Josiah Gray, it's a tough one because I think there's a case to be made for selling if possible. It depends on the return. If you can get something strong, of course. I mean, this is obviously he was a pitcher I'm familiar with as a Dodger fan that I was close to, that I was a big fan of, and was sad to see him go. And then he had that horrendous season last year. He was among the bottom of basically all categories other than strikeouts. He was always a decent strikeout guy, nearly strikeout per inning. But the ratios were just horrendous. Obviously, he's looked really good this year. I'm more impressed with Mackenzie Gore. I think that kid's a stud. And from a fantasy perspective, those guys were overlooked because they were pitching for the Washington Nationals and just the concern that they're not going to be getting the wins. So I do still think Josiah Gray has a home run problem. I think that'll pop up at some point when the summers get warm and he's pitching in some tough ballparks like in Cincinnati perhaps or in Coors Field. But overall, I like him. I think what we're seeing is real. But if you can get a good return for him, I think you need to shop that around.
All right, Vlad, let's help out our viewers here with this upcoming week. I understand it's only Wednesday, but I know there's some players that you're probably already looking at that could be potential pickups for you on the waiver wire. Who do you have for us?
Well, I think we keep an eye on Yuri Perez and how he performs. I think there's a good chance that, from what I hear, he's going to make at least a couple of starts, these next couple of starts, and then he could stick around in the rotation if he looks good. The one guy that stands out to me that a lot of people dropped last week is Dodgers pitching prospect Gavin Stone. Him and Bobby Miller were the 2 big prospects that the Dodgers were going to be depending on at some point this year, and they have some rotation issues. We saw Noah Syndergaard go down with that finger injury. He's, I think he's not long for this rotation anyways, and this is a good opportunity for Gavin Stone to step up. He was dropped in a lot of leagues last week, and he might line up for 2 starts next week. So I think those that weren't able to grab him early last week may want to be looking at picking him up for this week.
Hey, Vlad, how many shares of Esteury Ruiz do you have? He's up to 17 swipes on this young season. No dingers, but 16-16 with the runs and ribs. That's all right, hitting 275. I got a bunch of shares of him. He had a rock star spring, as you know. The back of the baseball card reads very, very well going back to the minor leagues. Have you been on Esteury Ruiz? Do you have a lot of shares of his?
So I do projections for our site FTN, and he was my stolen base leader for the major league season. Probably something I should have bid on or bet on myself. But I got a lot of shares of him in the early draft season. So when he was incredibly cheap, I guess you could say like a 250, 300 ADP. As the drafters started, the more serious drafters started getting in, and the more casual folks started drafting in March, his price became very competitive. People understanding the need for speed. And man, he, by the time I got to Vegas for my high stakes draft, he was going like 120 overall.
Wow.
So double the price. I just couldn't afford it. So I have a lot of shares, but on my most important teams, my very, I guess my pricier ones, was not able to get him because just was a market price for him.
We're talking to Vlad Sedler right here, head of MLB at FTN Fantasy. Follow at RotoGut. Let's talk about stolen bases. I know some people really go heavy before the season starts and preparing for those stolen bases, but then this year, the pitch clock changes that, and we're seeing a huge increase in stolen bases. Has this impact been only on the players that you expected to have a strong stolen base season, or are you seeing more stolen bases casually as well to help build up 5 year, 5 year, 5 year instead of trying to go for that one player that gets 20 to 25?
Yeah, I think most in the high stakes fantasy community understood that you don't want to just get stolen bases. You want to, that the bar was going to be set higher and that you need to get more. And one way to look at it is, at this point last year, about 30, 35 games into the season, there was only one player with double-digit stolen bases. At the time, it was Julio Rodriguez. He had 10, and everyone else had 9 or less. Now we are at the same point in the season, second week of May. There are 10 players with 10-plus stolen bases, including, aforementioned Esteury Ruiz and Ronald Acuna. These guys have almost 20 already. So the bar is set higher. You need to kind of find those stolen bases. So it makes guys like Ji-Hwan Bae of the Pittsburgh Pirates even more valuable. You need to be able to get them everywhere you can. So
I had a bunch of shares of him. He blew a tire with the ankle, missed some games, got some DMPs in my lineups, and I got an itchy finger, Vlad, real itchy. So I've had to dump him, and I moved on to some other guys. It is what it is. And by the way, very little homers, RBI. The batting average isn't great. Like, he's kind of a one category guy, at least in 5x5 leagues. Let's have a conversation, Vlad, about my Padres. Big opinion on them. I got them winning it all. Obviously, I think 19-17 is the record right now. We know that Tatis joined them on April 20th. And we know that. So I'll finish the setup here. What do they need, Vlad, to finish this off and win this World Series? Do they need another starting pitcher? Do they need a couple more bullpen guys at the deadline? Like, when you survey this roster, what do the Padres need to get this done this year?
Yeah, I think honestly it's just on the pitching side, because I think the offense is in a really good spot. It's deep from 1 to 9, a little bit of bench depth. They have some prospects that they can call up, and then the power duo, the old dudes, Matt Carpenter and Nelson Cruz. Those guys can still produce, and maybe will produce if they make it into the playoffs. And then of course you can't really beat that top 4 in that lineup, right? I mean, Tatis, Bogarts, Machado, and Soto is legit. I mean, it's arguably the best top 4. The starting pitching is really, and the bullpen is really the only thing I'm concerned about. You've got Josh Hader there, one of the best closers in baseball. But besides that, there just isn't a lot of depth, a lot of guys to depend on. Their best setup man, Robert Suarez, who came from overseas last season, he's been on the 60-day IL. So they'll need him back at some point. And the starting pitching, man, I mean, if just something happens to Darvish or Musgrove or Snell, they're in big trouble. So I think they need to get some more arms, and I think they're going to. I think, Preller isn't afraid to spend and get his guys. Traded Preller for a reason. So I think come the trade deadline, they'll be getting what they need to be competitive.
All right, Vlad, well, you heard it from this one right here. Rick Kamla believes the Slam Diego Padres are going all the way. Is it too early in the season for me to ask you your predictions?
I would, I like to separate my personal from fandom from, my opinions. I would love for the Los Angeles Dodgers to win it all, but I did pick the Atlanta Braves before the season started.
Vlad, my actual team is the Minnesota Twins. So I've got a big opinion. I like the Padres, right? They're kind of, I don't know, my side piece. They're my Major League Baseball side piece. And it's funny because the Padres and the Twins are playing right now. And it's the Rick Kamla Bowl is what it is. Yeah. And so I had a big opinion on my Twins coming into the season, Vlad, because of their pitching, not because of their bats, but because of the starting pitching. Their bullpen is beyond deep. Like, they got hold guys that got to wait a day before they can get into the win the game stacking in innings 6, 7, and 8, 8, and 9. What do you think about these Twins, man? Do you think they have staying power? Do you think they're going to win the American League Central? Cleveland is not in a good way right now.
Yeah, I mean they're looking really good, and you mentioned about the bullpen. Well, first of all, their starting pitching right now is the best in the league. The trio of Joe Ryan and Sonny Gray, Pablo Lopez are incredible, and John Duran is one of the best closers in baseball. Jorge Lopez can step in and grab saves, and I mean they're deep enough that they can just send to the minors a guy like Jose Miranda just because he's struggling. So it's a really nice lineup. I happen to be a big Alex Kirilloff fan, so I'm hoping that his wrist is fully healed and he can perform and be helpful for fantasy teams and the Twins.
Vlad, where can everybody find all of your work, and what are you currently working on right now?
Twitter at Rotogut, and then FTNFantasy.com. And we obviously have a lot of fantastic baseball content over the course of the season. I specialize in the free agent bidding, the weekly column. I do a huge piece every weekend breaking down 12 and 15 teamers by position, bid amount recommendations, and I kind of they call me the Fab Whisperer, but we're not whispering every weekend. It's tough. It's been tougher this year than most years.
We appreciate you joining us so much. Everybody go and give him a follow on Twitter at RotoGut. And Rick and I are going to get back to talking some NBA. I don't know how you feel about that, but let's do this. We got the all NBA first team. But before we do, how are you feeling about Ricky's props right now, Rick?
I'm feeling good about Ricky's props. I don't know about Jimmy Butler here. But I'm feeling really good about the Nick plays that we have. So let's start there. We got Jalen Brunson at 18 points. He's got to get to 25.5. Yeah, it's
Easy.
a big number. He was expensive tonight, but I'm like, this guy's not letting us down. And Brunson, we trust. LA at halftime, he's already at 4 rebounds and 5 assists. He's on pace to almost have a triple-double tonight. So in terms of the point, rebound, and assist prop that we had at 36.5, he's at right now 9 plus 18 is 27. Well on pace to hit that. RJ Barrett, we got the over at 20.5. He's at 10 points, so right on the number, but it was a really slow start to the game. He's now up to 4 of 8 shooting. Julius Randle's not playing well, LA. It was smart to fade him tonight. He's shooting 2 of 8. And then Jimmy Butler, he's got 12. Like, we're alive, right? We got to get to 28 to get the over on 27.5. He's got 12 at the half. We're very, very much alive on Jimmy Butler in LA. Are you ready for some unbelievable basketball theater here in the second half of this game? This is going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome. I do like what the Knicks did, making sure that they were going into the half ahead. Total right now it's 50-47. I do think Jimmy Butler can easily come out third quarter and get more than halfway to where you need him to go. But this must be quite a night inside the Garden. It's got to be rocking.
Ooh, Julius Randle's right eye is real puffy.
Really?
Yeah, like real puffy. Not like closed shut, but you can tell like he took a pop to the face, man. Like under his eye, he's got like a little, I don't know, like a little puffball here under his eye.
The way that stuff just swells up so fast. It looks so, also that can be throwing off his balance a bit. That can be throwing out his vision. Also, he's feeling that pain. Now they'll go into the half and ice it, put some stuff on it, but he'll still come out looking pretty wrecked.
That's where it's at right now. So the second half is underway. Man, this is the good stuff, man. I knew this was going to be a good game here. Frankly, this game is kind of going according to script. Not that lousy first quarter, but Knicks up on the Heat, but the Heat right there. And like I said, I don't think the Knicks are going to run away and hide tonight. If they win, it's going to be a spine tingler, a thriller. And hopefully that happens, man. Like I said, I'm not an anti-Heat guy. I just want a game 6 and possibly a game 7. I want more basketball, LA.
I get it. We all want more basketball. So let's go to the NBA, all NBA second team. You ready for this? You got Steph Curry. You got Donovan Mitchell. You got Jaylen Brown. You got Jimmy Butler. And you got the Joker.
Okay. I have so many problems with this all NBA team. So many.
Who can we call? Who should we talk to? I mean,
I know his name, but I don't want to bring up his name here.
Because you felt Mitchell was going to be on the first team, and he's on the second team.
There's that. I have whoa, like this is hitting me right now. Ja Morant is not on the All NBA team. Ja Morant. Ja Morant is not on the All-NBA teams. Oh my God. I am going to go ballistic on the show tomorrow on NBA Radio. And I'm going to do it right now with you guys on Better Sports Network. There is no way that Damian Lillard should be on the All-NBA team over Ja Morant. There's no way. I love Damian Lillard, okay? And he's a phenomenal player. But this is reputation, okay? He played 58 games, one fewer than Ja Morant. Ja Morant was on the second best team in the Western Conference. Damian Lillard was on a team that shut him down and many others to tank. But that doesn't matter. Let's just because of reputation. My thing is this, LA. Did the voters even care what happened in basketball this year? This is a damn popularity contest right here. This bullcrap All-NBA team. This is a popularity contest. Steph Curry should not be All-NBA this year. Is he an All-NBA guy? Yes, of course he is. Not this year. He didn't play enough games. Steph Curry played, where are the games played here? Steph Curry played 43 games. That's half the season, LA. And he's on the All-NBA team. How can you play half the season and get an honor like this? Please help me out.
And this is a money thing too for players. I mean, this has a lot to do with the money that's going to be handed them. Now, we don't know if Ja Morant's situation in the season took him out of the running because of the suspension and the terms of the time that he took away. There was, that was a serious incident and that could have affected him. He should feel some impact of that decision to be sure that he doesn't do something like it in the future. So that could have affected him, but I can agree with you. Let's go to the third team. De'Aaron Fox, Damian Lillard, LeBron James.
How?
Julius Randle, and Sabonis.
It's just god-awful in so many ways. I'm surprised Zion Williamson's not All-NBA. Yes, that was a joke. He played 29 games, but I'm surprised Anthony Davis isn't All-NBA. How is Anthony Davis not All-NBA if all these other guys are? Because he only played 44 games. So you're game-shaming him, but you're not game-shaming LeBron? LeBron played 47 games. How is Devin Booker not an All-NBA guy? He's on none of these teams.
You know what? That you're right. You pulled that out. That is so true. And again, this is what I was speaking of earlier, where we were talking to. Was I just talking to you about it? Or are we talking to Corey about it? Like, I do think load management for some of these teams is helping them have the legs in the playoffs. Be playing, and LeBron and AD are kind of a great example of that.
LA, you're my homie. Okay, I will ride or die. So you might be right about load management, but I can't co-sign that. I can't. So
okay.
I'm not going. And the reason is I hate load management. I absolutely hate it. It's terrible, terrible, terrible for our sport. It has turned off thousands of fans. Turned them off. They've literally left and taken their money elsewhere because they went to a game. They spent $750 for their 3 family members, and they got screwed because their kid was crying because his favorite player didn't play in that game.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool. I'm not going to go back. I can't tell you how many times I hear that. So I don't like load management. You might be right, but I just can't co-sign that. Devin Booker didn't make All-NBA, but Damian Lillard did.
Yeah.
And LeBron James did. Wow. I am literally blown away. I was not expecting.
And look, Randall as well, who's been a bit inconsistent, right? A lot less consistent than Devin Booker.
Now, I'm cool with Randall being on the team. LA, I want to let you know how I do my MVP and Rookie of the Year and all this stuff in all NBA teams. You have to play 65 games.
That's fair.
Otherwise, you're dead to me. Okay?
That's fair.
So all of these guys, like let's count them up here. Okay, who should be on and who should be off? Luka should be on. SGA should be on. Embiid should be on. Giannis. Do I have Giannis on my first team? Because he didn't play 65 games. I do. I don't know why. Maybe I made an exception for Giannis because I like him or something like that. But okay, fine, he's on. Tatum, he played over 65. Curry should not be on. Donovan Mitchell played over 65. Jimmy Butler should not be on. He didn't play over 65 games. Where's Butler's games played? I know he was right there.
And we got Joey Wright in the room.
2 games.
Thanks for joining us here. And Joey says the same. I wonder if the suspension cost Morant a spot. I don't think it should be, but I wonder if that's why. That could definitely have played a role. I agree with that. All right, keep going.
I do too. I think that's a good take. I really do. So LA, I've 4 guys made the All NBA team that I don't think should have. Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, Damian Lillard, and LeBron James. And the guys that I put on ahead of them were Brooke Lopez, Bam Adebayo, Pascal Siakam, and Drew Holiday. So I had Lopez, I had Adebayo, I had Siakam, and I had Drew Holiday. You know what those guys don't have going for themselves, LA? They don't have big names, okay? Steph Curry, hello. Jimmy Butler, he's in commercials, big name. Damian Lillard, huge name. LeBron James, the biggest name of them all, okay? Yeah. See where I'm going here? This is a reputation thing, and I think it actually sucks. Now, this doesn't. Jalen Brunson just hit a left wing 3. The Knicks take a 13-point lead over the Miami Heat. Timeout, Eric Spoelstra, and they are going crazy at the Garden right now.
Well, that is a perfect time for us to take a timeout. Thank you, Eric Spoelstra. We're going to do that as well. We get back. We're going to continue the conversation. We're going to cover some NBA. We're going for NFL. We're going for it. Let's go, Knicks. You're listening to Lisa, Ann, and Rick Kamla right here on Bettor Sports Live on the Bettor Sports Network.
The Detroit Lions select Sam Laporta, tight end, Iowa.
Had to go with your boy Sam Laporta there to pair with TJ Hawkinson.
Sammy, I couldn't double down on rookie tight ends. I think that's taking a little too far.
This could be one of the most exciting rookie tight end classes in a while, just based on the archetypes of these guys, of the Dalton Kincaids and the Sam Laportas. Obviously, Green Bay drafted 2 themselves with Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave. So after Kincaid, I would say is probably the consensus with tight ends. Like, who do you like as far as the best ball, like end of best ball? Do you like Laporta, or is there anybody else you like more?
I do like Laporta. We're looking for guys that can be a top 2 target on their team. So any path, any argument you could make, right? So you can make the argument that Dalton Kincaid is going to be a top 2 target with after Stephon Diggs. You can make an argument that with Jamison Williams suspended, now Sam Laporta is just going to play straight up wide receiver. He looks like a wide receiver. Why can't he line up out wide at split end, right? It's like Marvin Jones and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I would also throw another name in the ring, and I don't mind, since we're doing this for the fans, for the kids. He's still on the board. Luke Musgrave on your Packers. They're not super loaded at wide receiver. We like the guy Reed they drafted, but you never know. So why can't Luke Musgrave be a big slot? In fact, they drafted 2 tight ends, Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave. Tucker Kraft is more of an inline guy. They might just go 2 tight ends right away. Tucker Kraft inline, Luke Musgrave in the slot. Why can't he be a target monster for Jordan Love? So those are the guys, those are the conditions that you need for a rookie tight end to succeed. They need to not only be the best pass catching tight end on the team, but a top 2 pass catcher on the team outright. That's how you get Kyle Pitts. Evan Ingram as a rookie was top 5 because Odell Beckham Jr. hurt his knee 4 weeks into the year. So that's the formula. We're looking for guys that can actually be a top target right away. Otherwise, we're playing the sit and wait long-term game, which is what you're doing with guys like Michael Mayer.
And we are back right here, Lisa, Ann, and Rick Kamla on Bettor Sports Live on the Bettor Sports Network. And Rick is feeling the MSG vibe right now as the Knicks are ahead of the Heat 67-54. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Now, they're not home yet, LA. You got to close the deal here. Jimmy Butler's lurking. Jimmy does not have any points in the third quarter yet. Jalen Brunson's up to 26 chicken dinner winner already. And he's got 9 with the rebounds and the assists. So he's up to 36 and a half we had to get to hit the over on his PRA. Looking very good there. RJ Barrett coming to play. He's at 15 points right now, LA. On his way to the 6th game over the last 7 with 20 plus. His point prop tonight was 20.5. You can't contain RJ Barrett with 20.5, LA.
No, you cannot. You definitely cannot. We're going to let that continue to happen. We're going to talk about what we saw so far here with the loveliness of the holiday matchups. So we do have some scheduled games so far set up for the NFL. And tomorrow's going to be the big day. That's when we all start to really think about our schedule. Such an important thing, especially, I'm talking a lot about best ball right now because I'm going to do a month of a best ball every day, really for like drafting, for mocking. Bye weeks are so incredibly important in best ball because you can't change your lineup. You can't grab somebody off the waiver wire. You don't make changes. So you've got to be prepared. If you're taking 4 quarterbacks because you want to be sure you got to be very methodical about the schedule, especially the bye weeks.
Yeah, that's a good point by you because I don't, in redraft leagues and in especially in dynasty leagues, I don't give a damn about bye weeks in a dynasty league. I'm taking the talent that I need, especially if it's like a startup dynasty league, man. And so, that's created situation. Matt Deutsch's league last year, I had a glut of, it was like week 9, I seem to remember. It was the bye week of death for me. Like, it's a 2 quarterback league. I had a bunch of QBs and were like all on the bye at the same week. It was insane. At best ball, you've got to really be strategic about that. And it's almost more important than the statistics that you might put next to the player as the bye week to let you know, no, I can't go there because I got this guy, and this guy, and this guy already.
You have an opportunity to get a quarterback you want, but your first 2 have the same bye week. You just can't do that to yourself. You have to be thinking it through. I do pay attention to bye weeks in my drafts. I just do. It makes me a lot less of a struggle bus situation when it comes to Buymageddon. I don't want to have 4 players. I don't want to have all my wide receivers and just be playing scrubs. I don't want to have to get rid of a player that I like, that's healthy, that's performing for me just because out of desperation. I have nobody put into that wide receiver spot because everyone's on bye. So I do look at it. Wendy is excited to get in these leagues with me, but the day after Thanksgiving game, the 3 p.m. game, is going to be right in the beautiful New Jersey. Miami Dolphins at the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers playing in the very first day after Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving game, is pretty smart marketing for the NFL.
You got that right, LA. There's going to be a lot of this. Let's get as much Aaron Rodgers on national TV as possible. Totally here for it. LA, the Jets, when you boil down all of the pomp and circumstance, it's a really good football team, LA. And now they have Aaron Rodgers. You have a sturdy, reliable, previously clutch and championship level guy. Can he get back to that? I think he can. The Jets last year, LA, had the 4th best defense in the NFL. They only got better on that side in the offseason. The only thing I look at with the Jets is the offensive line, okay? I am projecting it to hang in there and get the job done, all right? But it is a question mark. They've got to play better than they did last year. Obviously, Rodgers has got to help them too. Get rid of the ball earlier, okay? Don't do the Zach Wilson thing where you scramble around aimlessly, not knowing what in the hell you're doing at your given profession, and all that kind of stuff. And Flacco, obviously, a statue standing back there. So the whole thing is going to hum along. I really do. I think they're going to be a fun watch, a great story, and I think they're going to be successful.
And I think this is going to be a great game. At that point, we're going to know, who Miami really is. And I think that's just a great matchup. Now, the NFL has decided to kind of step on the NBA's toes. So we have a 4:30 p.m. Christmas Day game.
Oh, really?
Yes, really. And that's really exclusively an NBA game day for all of us.
Wow. Well, LA.
Philadelphia at the link, and it's the Giants facing the Eagles. I can already see the Eagles are going to win that game.
Are you kidding me? Which network has that game?
That game is going to be on Fox. And let me go back. The other game, the Dolphins-Jets game that's going to be the day after Thanksgiving, is on Prime Video.
I was going to say, I that had Prime Video written all over it. That would have been my guess right there. With hopefully the soon-to-be retired Al Michaels. Giants at Eagles on Christmas Day. Pack a lunch, NBA. Good luck. The NBA might want to change their scheduling. Look, oh my God, this is so smart and so evil by the NFL. Tell the people the time of the Christmas Day football game again.
It's 4:30 p.m. Eastern time on Fox.
Okay. That's smack dab in the middle of the NBA does not put its best games on Christmas
Day?
night. No, Christmas night. They put their best games on. They have a noon game and then a 2:30. These are Eastern times. A noon game, a 2:30 game, probably like a 5:30 game, then an 8, and then a 10 or 10:30, right? And it's just waves of basketball. Well, the two biggest games are the 2:30 game and the 5 or 5:30 game.
And
so the NFL
right smack dab in the middle of it.
Yes, that literally they dropped a whale into the NBA swimming pool. And the NBA to me has to adjust. Why would you put, like, let's just say, I don't know, like the Celtics and Warriors, right? Like just an unbelievable showdown matchup, or, pick two of the best teams in the NBA. The Milwaukee Bucks and the LA Lakers, right? Giannis against LeBron, like these sexy as hell matchups that we get on Christmas. Well, you better put those sexy matchups. You better put one before this game and then put one in that 8 o'clock window, and maybe bury a good game, but not an awesome game in that sort of 3, 4, 5 range, because you're going to get beat by the NFL. Giants and Eagles is going to beat whatever game you put out there, especially LA that early in the NBA season.
This is week 16. This will be week 16 in the NFL. This is definitely going to have, it's definitely going to have divisional implications. And there's going to be quite a few fantasy football team managers who have quite a lot of action on this game. What I love about it is I love the next layer conundrum this is going to place on people to set lineups, right? You've got to remember now, right? You're going to have different days your players are playing. And for many people who are going to get into Christmas, maybe forget that they need to set that lineup that morning, this is going to give us a lot more responsibility weekly to be reminding, how is this going to affect who you're playing, who you're picking up, and to be paying attention in the future so that you don't set a lineup on Thursday and forget to set it on Friday for Black Friday, and then completely forget there's a game on Christmas.
You've got to set alarms for yourself, people. You've got to set alarms. That's how you get this done. You can't miss if you set an alarm. If you think, I'll wake up and okay, then something happens. A pipe bursts below your sink and you've got to get down there with a wrench and fix it, and your whole day gets thrown off. And dang it, I forgot to change set an alarm, man. That's all I got to say. Set an alarm. LA, you know how many radio hits that I would miss and blow off if I didn't set alarms in advance of them? I'm going on with Dusty Dvorak and Danny Cannell tomorrow on Mad Dog. And I scheduled that interview like on Monday. I set an alarm for myself. You think I'm going to remember something on Thursday that I agreed to on Monday?
So let me ask you this.
No.
When you set the alarm on your phone, do you put the notes in on what that alarm is for?
No, because you
can do that. You can put in like custom things,
I have not done that.
Okay.
LA, because when I get a random alarm go off, I'm like, I must have a radio interview, and it like kind of re-alerts me to what I got going on. But I will space your ass out if I don't have that reminder. I will forget.
All right, there's one more game I want to go through in this NFL schedule, since we know the holiday games was dropped today, so people can make their plans. This one is New Year's Eve.
Ooh.
4:25 p.m. Eastern time. The Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Kansas City to play the Chiefs.
I thought you were going to say Buffalo and sort of hey, the last time we had the DeMar Hamlin incident, so let's make that one up, but anyway, I mean, Cincinnati and Kansas City is fantastic.
Yeah, because remember, Joe Burrow does have Patrick Mahomes' number.
Also remember this. Do you know who the NFL is competing with on New Year's Eve? The NFL is attacking college football.
Yes, you're right. I completely forgot.
Dude,
Yes.
LA, these are gangsta moves by Roger Goodell in the NFL. This is greed at its best.
And this one's going to be on CBS. So we are really,
Romo, no.
I'm so sorry to break that news to you, but yes.
That was a buzzkill. I'm sorry.
So
but anyway, so LA, like the first semifinal game is literally going to be kicking off like right around the time of the Chiefs and the Bengals. So the NFL is coming right at the NBA's head, and the NFL is coming right at college football's head. Wow. It's evil. It is. Like this is sports broadcasting evil. Like the NFL's like, no, we want it all. We want it all. Like, wow.
So let's talk about the international games that were released today, because that came out as well. There's going to be 5 games for the 2023 International Series. And, you know, we know that the Jacksonville Jaguars are kind of considered, right, the home team. The first matchup is going to be on October 1st, which is week 4. It's going to be 9:30 a.m. It's going to be on ESPN Plus. Now, this is a whole nother thing. And it is the Falcons taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Atlanta's gone to London a lot too. This is like the 2 London homies right here. This is the London Bowl.
They're making Jacksonville stay in London for 2 full weeks, because Jacksonville is not only going to play there on week 4 on October 1st, they will be considered the home team the following week, which is October 8th, week 5 on the NFL Network. They will be playing Buffalo, considered to be the home team.
Okay, so how am I going to watch an ESPN Plus game?
You have to sign up for ESPN Plus.
And watch it on my phone? Or will it be like streaming like Netflix and all that stuff on my TV?
So you can use the app on your TV, just like Netflix, because that's how I watch UFC and all. Like, look, golf. Like, there's a lot of things that I watch that are on ESPN Plus. So I do use the app on my TV. I also watch on my iPad, but you're right. And this isn't for everyone, right? For people who just have regular cable, don't have a smart TV, don't use other platforms. Most people don't want to watch a game on their phone unless you're at work and you have to. Maybe you're at a kid's game or something. But if it's your day to be home and you're getting up that early to watch that early game, week 4 and 5, yeah, that's ESPN Plus is week 4. NFL Network is week 5. Now let's go to week 6. Baltimore Ravens taking on the Tennessee Titans, and that one's going to be on the NFL Network.
Ew. That was so 2020, that game, right?
Yeah.
Baltimore and Tennessee, that was like so 2020. Why are they putting Baltimore and Tennessee in a big window like that? That is an awful game. I'm not into Baltimore this year. Tennessee, legit, LA is going to be in the running for the worst team in the NFL. I think they're going to absolutely suck. That's a dreadful game.
But I'll tell you what, this says a lot about bye weeks, right? Because this kind of like, if the Jacksonville Jaguars don't have a week 6 bye week, I will feel bad for them. You've had them now live in a different time zone for 2 full weeks, and you need to let them get home and get acclimated, right? So
totally.
That's another one. So that's week 6. Okay. Now we've got one more here that I find is interesting. Not as hard on the Dolphins, but definitely hard on Kansas City. This is going to be November 5th, week 9. Dolphins, Kansas City. This will be on the NFL Network.
Ooh la la, ooh la la, ooh la la. This has game of the year potential with 2 offenses that can really go. Oh, by the way, it's the Tyreek Hill Bowl. Oh, by the way, Julius Randle just hit a bucket. He's up to 21 in the game. The Knicks are back up 17, just over 2 minutes to go in the third.
By the way, I will say this. The Chiefs are considered the home team in this matchup, which I think is valuable information because the home team gets to go in a day early.
Oh, okay.
They have more time zones to cross and more adjustment than the Dolphins do.
All right.
It's a longer flight.
Good
Everything
call.
about it. Okay.
Good call. I like the Tyreek Hill Bowl, right? You're going to get all the photo ops with him and Mahomes, and that'll be good stuff. That's a good matchup right there. That's 2 playoff teams. I got Miami in the playoffs.
And last but not least on this schedule that was released today, another one for the NFL Network. So there's only one on ESPN Plus, which is even weirder to think that you're going to ask people to like put this app on their TV and only put one of these games on.
So
but there has to be, right. There has to be more. I mean, I can't, how many people didn't have Amazon on their television last year because you use it on the computer to order groceries or what have you. You don't watch TV on it, right? So that was an adjustment.
Yeah. I literally, LA, I don't know. Am I going to have to buy new TVs that are like more streaming friendly, or am I going to be able to?
No. Wait a second. Aren't you already in the running to buy a new TV because you had one that kind of died out on you and another one that's dying out? Now you know you buy a smart TV.
I guess.
All TVs now are smart TVs. It's not a big deal.
All right. I don't know.
It's super easy. Look, your worst case scenario is you can play it on your phone and sling it to your television. It gives you a little TV arrow option, and you can throw it up on the TV there too. Let's go to this last one. It's the Indianapolis Colts taking on the New England Patriots. That is Week 10 NFL Network. Not excited.
Ew.
Okay.
Indianapolis in New England.
Yeah.
The Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi and Malik Cunningham of it all against, I mean, it's Anthony Richardson. You want to put him up to bat in a big window, but Indianapolis is going to be atrocious this year. You know what that is, LA? That's an old school Thursday night football game, right?
They're just dumping. They're offloading.
Yes, like this buried awful game that they give to all of us around the whole world in the Thursday night window. And we're like, this game sucks. Like, I'm a football junkie, and I'm not really even curious about this game, right? That's what this one reeks of. This is an old school Thursday nighter. Like our boy Johnny BTV, right? He hates Thursday night football. This is right up his alley.
It's very helpful to put a couple of the games in that spot that nobody cares about, because when you're on the West Coast, it sucks getting up to watch games that early. It's 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, DVR, man. DVR. Like, I don't even wake up. LA, I'm in the Eastern time zone. It's a 9:30 start. I ain't waking up at 9:30 to watch the NFL. No, I wake up. We get into our routine. We got our little family thing that we do. I don't watch the London games live anyway. I either DVR to watch later, or if this streaming thing jams me up, I'll wait for NFL Network, because they replay that game usually like at 2 or 3 a.m. Monday morning, coming off of the Sunday where the game played. It's a great deal, guys. Go to your guide, and go through the NFL Network weekly schedule. And if you missed a game, they literally replay all of the big games throughout the week. So it might be on a Wednesday or a Tuesday night, or a Wednesday early morning at 4 a.m. when you're asleep, right? But you can go DVR the games. It's a really nice tool.
Well, here we are. Knicks 82, Heat 68. Your Jalen Brunson, Ricky's props for over the 25.5 point. Boom, has hit. Brunson has 28 points.
Feeling good about this, LA. Feeling good.
How are you feeling about the combo? The combo was 36.5 for the
I'm so good. I'm feeling so good. We hit it. It's another chicken dinner winner here, LA. I'm wearing green tonight. I may have to wear this this green polo more often. We're trying to get in the winning spirit and that cash flow. But Brunson's at 28-6-6. So 12 plus 28 is 40. We're well over the 35.5 or 36.5 on the PRA for him.
It was 36.5. Yep.
There you go. So we're home there. We're home on Brunson points. We need, one more point from RJ Barrett, and then we'll hit on that. Jimmy Butler ain't going to hit tonight, LA. He's at 14. He just has a real unassertive, unaggressive vibe about him tonight in the game that, I haven't been able to watch every minute of every second of every play and all that, but I've watched most of this game. He had this one, like, he took a dribble into the mid-range, LA, and the defense was sagging off of him, and I don't know why, and he passed up the shot. He didn't even take like a wide-open 15-footer. He turned around and shoveled it to Kyle Lowry, who bricked a three. I was like, what are you doing, dude? Just put up a little mid-range 10 or 12-footer and get the bucket. It's a weird game from Jimmy Butler tonight. Very unaggressive game, and I thought he would be aggressive tonight.
Yeah, and that's not really the case, but you know what? Knicks
RJ
fans
Barrett just scored.
happy.
We have another chicken dinner winner, LA. I'm sorry. RJ Barrett just got that 1 point that we needed, so we're rolling.
We have another chicken dinner. And for anybody who chimed in late, who still wants to get a little bit of action out there for the late game, that is still a possibility, because we got one Klay Thompson, Ricky's props. Klay Thompson over 22.5 points. If you want to do that on BetMGM, you can get $1,000 paid back in bonus bets if you don't win a thing by using fantasyalarm.com BetMGM.
I love it, LA. I love it. Go to BetMGM and bang Klay Thompson over 22.5. Averaged 27.5 on 47% shooting in the two games in the series at home. 12 points on 32% in the two road games. He's back home in a death game. He's going to get it done tonight, LA. If you want to do an alt prop on this, go ahead. To me, anything over 25 right? I wouldn't go like alt on 26 or 27, but like 25 if you want to get a little bit better odds, because I think Clay is going to be within 25 and 30 tonight. So I would even up that a little bit if you guys want to do an alt line.
Pretty excited about this. My Friday night it's so much better now. 2 games versus 1. Like my big plans for Friday night of just game watching I just want to thank the Knicks. Like I'm not asking you to go any further. I just have a plan. It's my off night. When you travel, and then I'm traveling next week. And by the way, reminder to everybody, I won't be here next Wednesday. I will be in St. Louis. I will be taking part of the Dotem, which is a charity golf tournament for the charity Birdies for Bipolar. I'm really excited to be a part of it. This is a really fun crew of people, Rick. St. Louis people who I've gotten to know over the years. It's like an extended family to me. We do this dating game. So after we do our live remote, we do a couples dating game because there's a great restaurant called Oak and Olive that I love. And the way that I can finagle a dinner is that I take a couple on a date, okay, to this restaurant. And there's chaperones there. So we get like one side of the restaurant, people from the radio station at one point. And I know all these couples from sending me their fantasy football lineup questions through the season. So I get to kind of dig into their life. We order a ton of food. And I'm like, this is just, for me to have the opportunity to go and enjoy my favorite restaurant in St. Louis.
Oh, good for you. I'm excited for you with that. I love that it's got the major fantasy football undertones.
Always.
And again, happy 29th birthday. And you balled out last night. There's a lot of fun stuff happening in LA's world right now.
Except for the hangover that I've been faced with all day. That has not been the most fun. I've survived the day. I'm looking at the final clock right now. I have 35 more minutes where I need to actually be upright and existing. I'm debating whether I'm going to usually when I get done the show, I like to put my lights away. I like to do everything. I usually get half an hour, set up my office tomorrow. I don't know if that's happening tonight. That's going to be a game time decision in the final hour.
And so be sure to DVR the Warriors and Lakers
I
game.
will.
I know you're going to want to watch that. And you can check it out at some point tomorrow. But very excited about what's going on in this Knick game right here. And your travels to St. Louis are going to be a blast. Tell me what you think is going to happen tonight, LA. I think Golden State might run away and hide from the Lakers tonight. I feel pretty good about that. By the way, we got a 10-point Knick lead going into the fourth quarter. They still have work to do. Do you think the Warriors blow out the Lakers tonight, or do you think the Lakers go in there with greed in mind and go in for the kill in mind and give us a close game? How are you feeling about that?
I don't think that the Warriors are going to put up 30. I don't think the spread's going to be 30 at the end of the game, but I think the Warriors are going to win this game at home. The Lakers are going to take it back to LA in all LA style, like they like to, have all their people there and play the game that way. Whether they win on Friday and end this thing, but I don't think the series is going to end tonight. That's also hopeful thinking because I want to watch 2 games on Friday night, but we're going to get to a quick break. We'll touch in again on these scores. We'll chat with you right here. Byron says he'd rather watch paint dry to one of the games we were talking about.
What?
For the NFL schedule that came out for some of those games.
Oh yeah, New England and Indianapolis. My goodness.
That was there for sure. Thank you so much, sir, right there clarifying that. You're listening to Lisa, Ann, and Rick Kamla right here on Bettor Sports Live on the Bettor Sports Network.
Lunch Money with Kyle and Ray. Weekdays at noon Eastern, presented by FantasyGuru.com.
I just opened my inbox, and there was a little connection to a story at the local paper about salad bars are coming back to St. Louis. We haven't had them since COVID, Ray. I'm a big salad bar guy. I love going to the local grocery mart and doing a salad bar. I get it, kind of disgusting. Hell, they put a sneeze guard over the food.
What is this? Some kind of force field around these vegetables. That's the sneeze guard. You have to lean under it to get salad or sneeze on stuff.
But all these disappeared. Ray, I used to do the salad bar probably at least 2 times a week for lunch. And I would just load up, because I didn't have to cut anything. And I didn't have to buy like a whole cucumber, just have a little bit of cucumber in my salad. I'm a big salad bar guy, but these things have been gone for 3 years. And I think I'm going to get back into the salad bar game, baby.
I used to love buffets and salad bars and all that kind of stuff, and I haven't been to one since COVID. I'll tell the story quickly. My nephew, who at the time I want to say was 5, we were on a little trip, and we went to, it was a brunch and everything like that. They had ice cream. So my nephew doesn't know any better because he's 5. Puts his spoon in the ice cream, which is cool, right? He's gonna spoon it out, fine. But he doesn't spoon it out into his bowl. He spoons it into his mouth and then sticks it back in the ice cream. And I'm like, so we had to talk to the manager. I had to get him to pull the ice. And I started thinking to myself, you look around, people are.
Yeah, I don't think that 5-year-old germs wasn't gonna hurt anybody.
No, but you know what I mean. Then you look at this old person and they're grabbing this. It's just when you start thinking about it, I have a real struggle at this point with it now because I've thought about it, but I used to love going to them previously.
Well, and everybody's using the tongs there. Everybody's touching those. God knows where those hands have been.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I've yet to see anybody actually sneeze under the sneeze guard. Maybe if I see that, Ray, it'll change my whole outlook.
Right? It's like
there is a reason the sneeze guard is there. It must happen enough that somebody said, we got to put these suckers in.
Yeah.
But I love salad bars, and I'm back in, Ray. I've never gotten sick off one, so it's easy for me to say, but I'm getting back in the salad bar game.
Okay, good luck.
Good luck.
Make bets and follow your fantasy team while you buy, sell, and trade collectibles in real time. Only on Bettor Sports Network.
And we're back right here, Lisa, Ann, and Rick Kamla on Bettor Sports Live. I want to remind you to get your golf picks and lots of laughs with the Tour Junkies. Now playing on Bettor Sports Network's YouTube page, David Barnett and Pat Perry dish out the best bets and long shots as they preview the AT&T Byron Nelson for daily fantasy sports and betting. Subscribe to our YouTube page. Just search Bettor Sports Network. See, something I haven't been telling you is the fact that the reason I'm so super hyped to watch 2 games on Friday night is because obviously I will be watching golf all weekend.
I'm excited for you on that. I know your affinity for golf.
Pull the office TV out to the living room. So I can have golf on the big screen and some NBA going on the other screen. I won't just.
Well, Saturday there's no games, so there will be no conflict on Saturday. There's no NBA on Saturday. I know.
Better. This is even better. I can sleep.
Green light.
Go for a bike ride in Central Park. All right. Well, it looks like the Knicks are taking this one. All right. There's 9 minutes and 48 seconds left of the fourth quarter. Sure, the Heat could still do things, but it's 90-79. Jimmy Butler with 14 points, buddy. He not going to get your prop.
Jimmy, what's up, man? Jimmy Butler's game. I talked with Antonio Daniels about this on NBA radio today. We both thought Jimmy Butler was going to come with a big old balled up fist tonight and try to end this thing. That has not been the approach from Jimmy Butler tonight. I mean, he's been okay, but it just hasn't been, like I said, going Hulk smash. Jalen Brunson all the way to the cup for another layup. 13-point lead for the Knicks. Bill Bradley softly clapping in the crowd. Miami, but here's the thing, if you're a Knick fan, Miami's hanging around LA, and that's dangerous, okay? Right? Put them away, because if they go on like a little 6-0 run right here, now it's a 7-point game, timeout Tibbs. Duncan Robinson just hit a corner 3. We're back to 10. This is too dangerous right here for the Knicks. This is too close.
Yeah, you're right. The separation is only by 10 points right now. But Brunson, really getting it going. One of the things on here we talked about, I'm sure you talked about this week. How did you feel about Julius Randle's comments when he said maybe the Heat want it more?
That one really didn't move any needles for me. It's just, to me, it was a player pissed off and frustrated after a tough loss. Where was that quote after game 3 when you guys literally tanked a playoff game? It's LA. Just off the top of my head, there may have been a worse performance by somebody, but often it's the worst performance by any team in this playoffs. And we have a 7-point game, LA. Timeout Tom Thibodeau. Just like I said, this is too close if you are the Knicks. It's too close right now.
Well, you just said the man's name, Tom Thibodeau. So let's just say this 10-point spread goes to 3 points, goes to 1 point, and the Heat win. Is he on the coaching hot seat?
Oh, wow.
Is he on the coaching hot seat if that's the case?
This is such a good question because coming into the year, LA, Tom Thibodeau in my opinion, was on the hottest seat in the NBA coming
Okay.
into the year. You had the reports about, him not getting along with this guy and front office dysfunction and too many cooks in the kitchen and all this stuff. And maybe Tibbs isn't this guy's guy and all that stuff. And then they had the year that they had, right? Very, very good. And now they're in the second round. I would say no. I don't think it will be like if tomorrow would be Thursday. I don't think it would be Black Thursday for Tom Thibodeau and they would fire him. But LA, guess what? You never freaking know. This is NBA coaching, right? This is like the diciest and most perilous job you can have outside of working on a skyscraper 50 floors above Earth, or what's that show where the guys are on the boat in the middle of the ocean, Deadliest Catch, right?
Oh,
where they're battling
yeah.
these huge waves and
Yeah,
they're falling off the boat and a shark may attack them and all this like that. That's a tough way to make some cash to get some crabs up in that boat, man.
I do make some good money though.
Oh, I believe that. But being an NBA head coach is very, very dangerous. You're not going to lose your life.
Being any kind of head coach, right? Okay, so let's talk about a little bit more NFL here. Let's switch gears because I don't want to psych myself out and think that the Heat can come back here. This is upsetting. Here's what we got right now at ESPN.com for the these are the betting odds for Super Bowl 58 champion. Right now, the Chiefs are plus 600.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles are plus 800. 49ers and Bills are plus 900. I'm going to go right there and leave it here. We'll talk about each one of these teams. We can never discount the Chiefs. We know that. We saw the Eagles got so much better, if that was even possible, in the draft 2 weeks ago. I mean, so much better. It's hard to believe, but they did. They made all the right moves. They had all the ability to do it. The Bills get themselves a new tight end, right? Dalton Kincaid.
There you go.
Austin Kincaid is an artist.
I'm not familiar with his work.
It's art. Okay. It's an artist. And every time, so my girlfriend, Allie, who I was with last night for my birthday, she's a huge Buffalo Bills fan. So we're sitting at the table, we're talking about, Josh Allen and this and that. And we brought up Kincaid and I'm like, this whole season, I'm going to confuse him for Austin Kincaid, the artist. And that's never going to play out well. I think the 49ers have a lot of question marks. They had a great defense last year. Everybody played well no matter what quarterback was playing, but it's a quarterback situation for me. How do you like these numbers so far with the Chiefs at plus 600, Eagles at plus 800, and the 49ers and the Bills at plus 900?
I mean, the Chiefs at plus 600 is all about Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid because they have not had a good offseason, LA. Turnover on the offensive line. They didn't, in my opinion, do enough at wide receiver. You did draft Rashee Rice. Okay, cool. You signed Richie James. That was the big addition via free agent. Richie James was their big wide receiver addition through free agency. So, and you lost Juju Smith-Schuster, obviously. They're still going to be fantastic, okay? They're the Chiefs. You have Reid and Mahomes. They are going to find a way to win well over double-digit games. But LA, they took a step back this offseason talent-wise. The Eagles took a step forward talent-wise. And I'm on the Eagles right now to win this championship. It's not an official prediction. We're in May, okay? But
sure,
right
we got to
now,
look at the schedule. I think tomorrow is gonna make some difference this year. Looking at the schedule, how beat up are you gonna be by what week? When's your bye week? What's your travel? I hear an
Kyle Lowry just hit a 3. We have a 4-point game. But I have the Eagles winning this thing, LA. I have the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. I do not think we're going to get a Super Bowl hangover. We're going to get a team on a mission. They're too good. They're too stacked. You know what I mean? And I don't see Sirianni and Jalen Hurts and all these guys like, woe is me. Oh my God, we're hungover because we lost. No, like the Falcons. Remember after they lost to the New England Patriots? You want to talk about a Super Bowl hangover for the loser? Wow. That was the dictionary definition of it. I don't see
and
that.
Byron, I got to agree with Byron. Byron said Buffalo has underachieved for the last 2 years. That's a fact.
I'm out. Okay, I'm out. Oh, Jalen Brunson, Nadsy 3, and we got a 7-point lead for the Knicks.
There's one of these lines here I want to run by you because it's two teams that are both at plus 1,400. It is my Dallas Cowboys And it is Aaron Rodgers, New York Jets. I almost want to take that for the Jets just because I like the number.
I like it a lot more. I would play that. I would put my money on Duncan Robinson 3-ball 4-point game. I would put my money on the Jets to win the championship. Did you say it plus 1,400?
Yes.
Okay. I actually like that. I don't think the Jets are going to win the Super Bowl. Okay.
Let's
But
just say they did. You put that money down. You put $100 down on that ahead of time. You're sitting pretty.
But yeah, so let's juxtapose that against the Cowboys. I don't believe Jalen Brunson. No, I don't believe that that they're going to win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott. LA.
Yeah, I know.
I don't.
That's been an ongoing thread of conversation I've been listening to a lot lately. Let's get to another one here. The Bengals are at plus 1,100.
Yeah, I like it. I do. I'm okay with it. I actually, golly, I don't like it more than the Chiefs at plus 600. LA, there's some about the Bengals that we got to talk about. Their tight end position. It's bothering me. You let Hayden Hurst go in free agency to Carolina. All right, cool. We'll get him in the draft, right? No, they didn't take a tight end in the draft. Irv, always injured Smith, is going to be their tight end this year. Here's the problem for Burrow. Burrow obviously throws to Chase and Higgins and Boyd, all right?
Yep.
But over the last 2 years, he has really done a lot with, you remember, C.J. Uzoma, and then last year, of course, Hayden Hurst. Okay, and what these guys do, it's not exotic. It's basically an 8-yard curl route or dig route. They just go 8 yards, and they sit down under the zone for Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow surveys, pressure comes. All right, I got my dump off to the tight end, right? Is Irv Smith going to be that security blanket for Burrow that these other guys were? The question is, can Irv Smith stay on the damn football field? He's hurt so often. That, to me, could be an issue for Cincinnati this year. Is Joe Mixon back? If they jettison him, to me, they didn't do enough in the draft to maybe set themselves up for life without Joe Mixon. So I think they'd be frankly nuts to not bring him back. But I like Cincinnati, LA. I like them. I think there's more upside and more reliability with them than with Buffalo. I will say that.
You had asked about the Dolphins and the Chargers earlier, right? Do the Dolphins or Chargers make the playoffs? That was your question.
Correct.
The odds for Super Bowl for the Dolphins is plus 2,000, and the odds for the Chargers is plus 2,800.
Don't waste your money on the Chargers at plus 2,800.
No.
Right. And I'm not even talking to you, just anybody. Like, it's a waste of money. You are literally whizzing into the wind, as they would say. Now, the Dolphins at plus 2,000?
It's interesting.
La la. I like that.
It's interesting,
one.
right? Yeah, I agree.
I would play that one. I would throw a little something on that one, LA. I don't have a huge Miami opinion, but I have a very healthy Miami opinion. And it would not shock me if they won the AFC. It would not. If guys stay healthy. I mean, LA, Tua Tagovailoa was in the core of the MVP discussion before he started getting the head injuries last year. That's where Miami was living and hanging, right? Remember the game against Baltimore? What did Tua have? 469 yards and 5 touchdowns or something like that in that game?
That was when I was still getting made fun of for being on Tua. That was when everybody let me go. Let's go to Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Bijan Robinson is at plus 300. Bryce Young is at plus 475. Anthony Richardson is at plus 650. And CJ Stroud is at plus 700.
This is easy. There is no way I'm putting my hard-earned cash on a rookie quarterback on a bad team. There's no friggin' way, okay? Carolina has fortified Bryce Young as much as they could. Houston's done the same thing for CJ Stroud, but they're still bad teams, LA. They're coming out of wreckage and tanking and suctitude, all right? And then you got Indianapolis.
What about Bijan going into a situation where he's going to be the lead back and he's going to be in a system where he is running the ball, and he is at plus 300?
Bijan Robinson probably needs to be a first-round pick in fantasy football this year. I mean, for real. Like, not for me, LA. Not for me. I'm going to be taking a wide receiver when you guys are all taking Bijan Robinson. I'm turning my drafting inside out this year. I'm starting with wides, and then I'm going to running backs. And I'll deal with the 50-50 backfields, and I'll just make that work like I make it work with starting pitching in baseball. But dang it, I am going to have rock stars at wide receiver. But Bijan Robinson, LA, if you want to say he's a first round pick, I'm not mad at you. They have to play him. They're going to be a run first team. They've got a really good offensive line. You've got a run heavy game script, play caller, and Arthur Smith. It's all set up for Bijan Robinson to have a massive rookie season.
Let's go for odds for defensive rookie of the year. Will Anderson is at plus 350. Jalen Carter is at plus 700. And Tyree Wilson is plus 800.
Okay. The Jalen Carter problem is I don't think he's going to get enough snaps. Okay. He's going to be in a defensive line rotation as a rookie here. Probably will start, but I see, they've got Jordan Davis, first round pick last year. He'll be one of the guys coming off the bench behind. So I just don't see him getting enough snaps. The play here is Will Anderson. Okay. He's going to get all the snaps he can handle for the Houston Texans. Obviously they got him for a reason. He's a stud, but you gave up a ton to get him. He's going to see the field. He's a difference-making, potentially historic defensive player in this league. I think Will Anderson is the easy bet right there. And Tyree Wilson, I like him a lot. He's on the Raiders. I think even if he has a good year, it'll be lost in the shuffle compared to if Will Anderson has a big kind of 1,000-watt season, because he's that guy, right? You know what I mean? Tyree Wilson wasn't that guy coming out of college. Will Anderson has been that guy for 2 years running here, LA.
Let's go for the odds for the NFL MVP this season. Pretty simple. We're looking at Patrick Mahomes at plus 650. I'm very surprised of a player that's missing from this list, and I'd be shocked if you don't say the same. This list is Mahomes at 650, Joe Burrow at plus 700, and Josh Allen at plus 750.
And Josh Allen at 750. Who could they be sleeping on? Whoa.
Jalen Hurts?
Oh, I thought you were going to play the Aaron Rodgers card, but yes.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts is my MVP prediction. I think the Eagles are going to win the championship, and I think Jalen Hurts is going to win MVP. He was my MVP last year, LA, until he got hurt.
Yeah.
He only didn't win MVP because he got hurt. And now who knows with the voting, right? I usually disagree with the voting, but to me it was somewhat cut and dried that if Jalen Hurts, completed that season, they lost one game with him, LA, until the Super Bowl. So Jalen Hurts is my call here. So what are we talking about for Hurts, LA? Is he plus 1,000 to win MVP? I don't like that bet. I love that bet. I want to drive to a state where I can bet and bang it. That's how much I would love that bet.
Yeah, I agree with you if it was available, but it's not at this current time. Last thing I'm going to give you right here, comeback player of the year. I don't know if I like this list. They're all at plus 2,500. Tua, Russell Wilson, Trey Lance, and Lamar Jackson.
Well, again, I think Deshaun Watson is he'd be my He'd be my preseason pick for this. People are sleeping on the Browns, and that's fine. I understand why they would. I'm telling you, the Browns are going to be in the playoffs, man. They are going to sneak up on people and be better than the Ravens.
Oh, wait a second. Jalen Hurts. Thank you so much, Anthony, in the studio here. Jalen Hurts with Justin Herbert, it's plus 1,000.
There it is, plus 1,000. Okay? Hold on a second. This is slanderous. You have Justin Herbert with the same MVP odds as Jalen Hurts?
I know.
Am I in the twilight zone? That's not even close to accurate.
I bet you we look in in 2 weeks. This is totally different. Once this schedule comes out, these numbers, so this is a good time to get in.
LA, the Chargers are so overhyped. It's a joke. How have people not gotten it on this fraudulent team up to this point?
It's just Justin Herbert. Everybody likes Justin Herbert so much. I don't even think they really think about
You're right.
The losing every single game in the fourth quarter. I don't even think about
You're right. They're just enamored of Justin Herbert, and you understand why. The guy's a rock star, man. But look, there's no one-man band in the NFL, man. You got to have a protection and a defense and weapons, and you got to bring it all together and be clutch and big third down throws on national TV games. Miami, LA, they just got another 3-ball from Duncan Robinson. They're down 4 with 4:20 to go.
Nope. 3:55 to go in the fourth. You need to refresh. And the score right now is 102-96. Knicks.
Oh, Brunson with a clutch mid-range J Let me see. I haven't paused. So am I behind live a little bit? I guess I am behind live a little bit. Well, look at that. That's kind of weird. But you must be ahead of me a little bit. And Jimmy Butler comes back with a bucket, 4-point game. This is too close. Knicks, handle your business. Come on.
It is a little bit stressful, right? It is something, but your questions.
Yeah, go ahead, Ellie. I'm sorry.
Your questions for what's more likely LeBron James is the Batman of the Lakers or Anthony Davis is the new Batman of the Lakers.
LA, Anthony Davis has been the Batman of the Lakers the entire playoffs. Has he played like the Batman of the Lakers every game? No, he has not. But this is by design. LeBron does not want to do all the heavy lifting. He does not want to have to go 39, 13, and 12 every single game like Jokic does, right? He doesn't have the energy or the stamina.
He's also twice Jokic to say, not twice, but I mean, he's older than,
way older, right? So year 20, age 38. So I wanted to bring this up just in case people get it twisted. Man, LeBron's still the Batman of this team, or they're kind of watching these LeBron games that are like good, not great. And they're like, what's wrong with LeBron? Why does he go several possessions without really touching the ball and all this kind of stuff? It's all by design. And LeBron James trusts LA. Finally, he trusts Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Davis.
You can
so
see
he
all of it.
trusts them.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So LeBron
D'Lo is going
go
to
ahead.
at the end of this season, D'Lo is going to be the conversation of what a difference he's made and what a great addition that was for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Maybe to the tune of a championship, LA. Okay.
Yeah.
Right now, I had this thought last night as I was watching the Celtics. That was pathetic what I saw last night from Boston getting blown out at home in Game 5 by Philadelphia. And I was thinking, the farther we go in these playoffs, LA, Memphis is home. Milwaukee is home. All right. Boston after tomorrow night may be home. We've got a lot of the big boys out of these playoffs. So it just keeps coming up Lakers, doesn't it? It seems like they just keep rising. Others are falling off. And we may be talking about the 5th championship ring here for LeBron James. If you would have told me that in December, I would have said, you are all the way crazy. Check into an asylum right now. It's not crazy. That's where we are. But yeah, and D'Lo would be a huge reason why LA.
So let me just
and he's
recap.
A free agent this summer too, which creates an even dicier situation.
Let me recap. So what you think out of the Sixers Celtics series, you think the Celtics are going to come out, right?
Well, I did very, 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 very confidently. And last night caused me to have several epiphanies, LA. I'll give you them in fast form here. Epiphany number 1. Wow. For the first time in the James Harden and Joel Embiid era, I actually think they can win a championship. Ding. That happened last night. Here's another epiphany. I may have overrated Boston. Okay. Here's another epiphany. Jason Tatum needs to be a better Batman. This ain't it. He was good last night, but Game 4 was atrocious. Jimmy Butler, mid-range game, bucket, 3-point game.
All right, so let's go to you don't think I'm sorry, I have to rephrase that. So you don't think the Celtics are going to come out of this series, or you do?
See, I like that you're not letting me wiggle off the hook here, circling back. LA, I literally don't think I've ever said these 3 words to you ever in our years together on all these great platforms. I don't know.
Well, then we'll pass on that one. How about
you know
the Nuggets?
what I mean? If you could tell me which Celtic team would show up tomorrow night, I could give you a definitive answer. I think Philly's going to win. Okay, I do. But Boston may decide to finally start playing freaking hard, man, for like a whole game. And if they do, they're probably going to win. So I just don't know. That one's vexing for me. It really is.
And how about the Nuggets-Suns series? Who do you see coming out of this one?
The Nugs. I don't think Chris Paul, you already said that he's been ruled out for Game 6. I don't think even if the Suns win Game 6 and force a Game 7 that he'll be able to go. And I think, look, it's just your role players have to play well to support Booker and Durant. And they did in the 2 home games. They did not last night in the road game. And we know, all of our audience members know, role players play better at home in the playoffs and worse on the road. It's an NBA truism. So if it goes to game 7, the Josh Okogis and the Landry Shamits and the Terrence Rosses and all these other guys, Cameron Payne, all these guys, to me, they're not going to play well at altitude against a very, very good basketball team. And then it's Booker and Durant against the world. And then it just becomes a math problem where they just can't keep up.
Yep. Because the depth that the Nuggets have is real. The depth that they have is real. And the Celtics are not showing us what we saw for this large majority of this season. Byron says that Lonnie Walker is Robin.
That's funny. That's a good joke. No, it's a good line. I mean, that's a little zinger, little punchline right there. LA, the Lonnie Walker thing, RJ Barrett off glass, put back by Hartenstein, and a 4-point lead now for New York with just over 2 to go. LA, the Lonnie Walker 15-point fourth quarter is one of the most shocking and amazing things I've ever seen in any NBA playoff game.
But we see this regularly where a player just comes in and has this, gets on this crazy hot streak that nobody was talking about. It's Lonnie Walker, the fourth, that came on strong in the fourth quarter. That's just a bizarre, but you can't, I'm sure if people were playing daily fantasy sports the next day, they were all high on Lonnie Walker. You got to see more of it than just one hot moment.
Yeah, you're right. Now, we definitely see role players, spike up and have big games and this kind of thing. But to not have a point in the game and then score all 15 of your points in the fourth quarter in a game where you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, 5 future Hall of Famers, and Lonnie freaking Walker parachutes out of the rafters and has 15 fourth quarter points. That one was stupefying to me. Good for Lonnie Walker, though, man. He was out of the rotation in garbage time in one of the blowout games.
And good for the team, good for everybody. I mean, you need to know that you've got this secret weapon that's been on your bench and that you're going to do something with. For those of you that are going to stay tuned here on Bettor Sports Network, Fantasy Baseball Podcast is going to be on. Also, Her Story with Britt Flynn. I'd like to thank tonight's guest. We had Corey Parson join, who you can follow at the Fantasy Exec. We had Vlad Sedler. You can follow at RotoGut. All of you in the room. Don't forget, when you go to YouTube, you can just click that share arrow, and you can be sharing all of the shows on the Bettor Sports Network to your platforms. A little window pops up. You can put it on Facebook, Twitter. It is a great way for you to get out what you love about the channel and how much you enjoy being a part of our show. Scrimp Daddy, thank you so much. Everybody, thank you for being here. Our producer, Anthony, Bettor Boss. To us, making it through these next 2 or 3 minutes so that I get 2 games to watch on Friday nights. All I'm asking for, people. This is the final birthday gift I'm looking for. Rick, you have a great day tomorrow. Enjoy these games. And look, the it's done. It's 107, 101. There's a minute and 20 seconds left. It's over, right?
Pretty much. Can't say it officially. I can't shovel that last little patch of dirt on that deal, but it looks good for the Knicks, but they're not home yet, LA. They're not quite home yet.
Are you telling me you don't count your chickens before they hatch?
I try not to. Sometimes I do, but I try not to, right? There was a bet the other night, on the shorts that I do. I give out the prop bets. I mean, I had it, and then I didn't. I lost by the hook. I forget who it was. I give out so many of them, but it was a no-doubter. And then the guy just went vaporized from the rotation.
This is what happens.
It's what happens.
To all of you in the room, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Lisa, Ann, and Rick Kamla here. Thanks to our producer, Anthony. You're listening, you're watching, you're enjoying Bettor Sports Live on the Bettor Sports Network. We will see you. I will see you in 2 weeks. You will see Rick next Wednesday.